OnePlus 8T. This has the 120 hertz, so it is wicked smooth.
15 minutes will get you charged up for a whole day.
And this has a quad camera too. We got a 48, a 16, a 5, and a 2 megapixel.
This is it, the final day of the PUBG Mobile PMCO 2021 Spring Split North America is upon us. 4 final chances, 4 final games for these teams to secure their spot in the upcoming PMPL. Myself, Imperium, along with the wonderful Zute to break everything down. Now, Zute, before we get into things, there is that quick announcement to get out of the way. There is now 9 spots available for the PMPL. Not 8. There is now 9. So there's that juicy extra slot for these teams to fight over.
Yeah, that one additional spot is huge. As a competitor myself, knowing that you just get that one extra spot, it's so big, because tell you what, in PMGC last year, right, we almost didn't make it to PMGC, and then they announced that one extra slot, right, and then it's just it's a huge difference. So we're looking at top 9 now, guys. It's no longer top 8, it's top 9, and for the teams competing, you know, right around that 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th spot, that 9th place qualifying spot now is going to be a blessing for them if they can make it there.
Exactly. Before we break down where these teams are lying, let's go through the housekeeping, of course. Let's have a look at the points system and what these teams are going to have to do in terms of getting the points needed going into the final game of the day. Of course, we start with 15 points for first place, 12 for second, third, and third place get 10 points, and all the way down. I'm going to highlight this a little bit more. 13th to 16th get 0 points.
Yeah, 13th to 16th, 0 points. At this point in the tournament, I think if you feel like your team is getting pressured and is about to go out in one of these last place placements, I wouldn't even go as far to say, like, don't even try and run away to survive. Like, just take the fight to them and maybe get 1 thirst or 2 thirst. Because as a solo player at this level, it is so insanely hard to get placement points unless if you just get extremely lucky. So secure those points. Every point matters. But we're on to the last day with only 4 games left. This is probably advice that maybe some teams should have taken way earlier on.
Yeah, so true. Definitely it could have benefited them a little bit if they weren't aware of it. Let's have a look at the schedule coming into the final game of the day. We all know by now we're starting with Erangel, followed by Sanhok, followed by Miramar, and then ending it all with Erangel. The 2 Erangel games, of course, in theory, favor teams who've looked strong in Erangel, but we all know that that doesn't always have to be the case.
Yeah, there's so many teams so close in points. They just need one pop-off game, be it Erangel, Miramar, or Sanhok. It's the tale of the old, right? Final day, you just need one really good game, and it will change everything. And game by game, we're going to see teams make it into the top 9, and at least one team going out of the top 9. Every single game. Each game, there's going to be a slight shakeup. That's what I'm predicting.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, who's gonna have the lucky draw, the lucky day, or who's gonna make their own destiny and make it into the PMPL? We'll be finding out fairly soon. But let's have a look at the overall standings coming into today's games. Let's have a look at where these teams currently are looking. Zute, it's all good in the hood for EFC. They're on top of the board. They're on 161 points with 3 chicken dinners.
Yeah, EFC, they're just looking to secure their first place position. Teams like HQA and Mezexis, they're going to do their best to try and, bump up their positioning because there is a small prize pool for this. So we're going to see teams still try their hardest, even though they've qualified, right? A little bit of extra cash, always nice. What I'm looking at, though, is the point groupings. That's what we need to pay attention here. So 1st through 4th, I would say they're pretty comfortable. PassionFruit, they can't just absolutely throw today. I'm saying, like, if you could get maybe 1 or 2 points per game, that would be okay. Looking at 5th through 7th, we got 99 points, 98 points, 97 points. And the Panthers at 87 points in 8th place. These teams, I would say they're so close. They could smell the qualifying spot, but they have to play their game. I don't want to see these teams trying to change things up too much because it might backfire. They're doing good. Just play the game they know, stick to the strategy they know, and they'll be fine. The rest of the point standings, though, I'm looking at like the bottom, like 13th through 15th, 60 points, 57 points, 47 points. These are the teams that need a Rocky Balboa comeback day if they want to have a chance. And everybody in the middle of the pack, they're in boiling hot water. It is on today, and they have to be on point.
They are going to have to be on point indeed. We're going to be moving into game number 1. Of course, we all know it's going to be Erangel. The PMCO 2021 Spring Split is brought to you by the wonderful folks over at OnePlus and the OnePlus AT. So let's just get this show on the road. Let's see what kind of beautiful playing path we're going to have for this first game. If I'm not mistaken, that is extremely south, Zute.
PMCO Finals. This is by far the tournament with the craziest playing paths and the craziest circles back to back days. Like yesterday alone, it was 4 games in a row, just absolutely wild. And I don't know if like the circle algorithm or the plane algorithm has officially changed. Maybe going into PMPL, this is what we should be expecting now. Like just really wild shifts and wild plane paths. But from what I've seen for PMCO, this is the craziest it's ever been. And right off the bat, we've seen Punjab and Dior and Novo. Now, Dior, they're in 9th place right now with 82 points. They're on the cusp of that qualifying spot. They're going against a team of Punjab. Punjab definitely struggling, but I think that makes them even more lethal right now. It's the last day for them. They have nothing to lose. They might just go all out. And we do see a little red blip on the map. One of the players just died. We cannot see yet if it was Punjab or Dior, but Dior, I hope they did pick up the first kill point. And
no,
that is not the case. Dior already down 1 player.
Clue is out of here. So Dior are down to 3. Nesquik, here and flawless. If I were them, I would just look to Nesquik the hell out of there and just, go back to the south part of Nova, because I just don't think they can afford to lose any more players at the start of this game 1. I'm all for taking risks. I'm all for kind of, hey, it's do or die now or never, but it's game 1. If you get a 7-8 point game in day 1, if you're Dior, it's by no means out of the woods. But if you get a 0 point game, that's going to make that uphill battle in game 2, 3, and 4 just so much more difficult.
Yeah, they're literally in 9th place on the cusp of qualifying. So this is
exactly,
like, I would say the pressure is on them even more so. Like if they were 10th place, Like, it's like, okay, we need to get this together. But ninth place for me is like, we're in it, but we're messing up right now, and this is not good. And it looks like they're going to stay and take the fight. One thing I want to mention, we've seen Punjab drop here quite a few times, and Dior should know that. So maybe Dior was actually targeting Punjab, thinking they're like easy pickings, so to say. But this is the last day, and Punjab, they might be a different beast on the last day. They might not just care anymore, and their eyes are red. They just want to get every single kill they can, and they're not going to back down from anything.
To remind you all at home, there's 15 points dividing 5th. Actually, no, not 15 points. Sorry, 25 points. Sorry, dividing 5th and 12th. That is just over a chicken dinner, right? That is overall nothing when you think about these final 4 games. So every single, it's an age as old as it's a you know, the saying as old as time. Every single point is going to count, and yeah, okay, Dior is taking this fight right now, but will it be worth the risk? Will it really be worth it?
Yeah, one opening onto Dior, and it falls apart for them since they're only a 3-man. And that grenade, if it was cooked just a little bit better, Dior lose another player. There's no way Yahir would have got revived. But the off angle, the 1v1 on the side, on the right-hand side, and the crates, Dior picked that one up, and they bring it back to a 3v3. Punjab Mon is not going to get saved here. And it's looking like a solid fight now. 3v3. Go at it.
But it's only 3v3. If Nets quick joins up with the rest of the team, Flawless is going to come on in and get a beautifully flawless nade, cook, and a confirmation onto his second Punjab player. So that does turn around in a 2v2. Yeah, here comes onto Nimbo. So it is just one player left in this side of Punjab United. Shamster is going to be put in. He's going to get a lovely Thompson knockdown. He's going to go for the drop shot, but it is not the drop shot, the jump shot, but it is Jor that comes in, gets a squad vibe. They get the revive. They're going to be up as a 3-man team with 4 points, which automatically puts them 2 points behind the Panthers in 8th.
Great job, Dior. They dropped here with a plan. They dropped here with a purpose. They lost a player in the beginning off drop, which definitely always throws a wrench into the plan, right? It could really shake the confidence of team. You were saying they should just disengage, and I was thinking, you know, losing a player off drop when your plan was to take out a team is definitely a shake to the confidence. And this is the last day, and they are in 9th place. Oh, major respect to them for sticking that out and sticking to their game plan, even with that, you know, unexpected loss at the very beginning, and they still fought it out, and they brought that 3v4 back to a clean 4 points for themselves without losing another player. So that is amazing to see out of Dior. I respect that.
Yeah, so do I. I very much respect that. Kudos, credit where credit's due. We didn't really talk too much about the circle on the side. Now, it was not super up north, but compared to playing path, it was quite up north. It definitely complements this side EFC a little bit, and then Pro Era. Actually, no, EFC dropped in military island. Okay, that I didn't notice that, but either way, Pro Era are swiftly getting across the bridge on the eastern side and will make their way into the circle. Maybe EFC just missed that timing.
Yeah, Pro Era, I don't know if they realize how lucky their timing was. Any slower, we already know EFC, they're just hunting right now. They're looking for all the kills they can, and they actually dropped Military Island because I don't think they wanted to bother trying to get all the way to Severity. Like, this is, they're in such a comfortable lead that they're kind of just like, whatever. I don't want to, you know, go through the headache of stretching for a vehicle.
It's like
driving all the way up. It's really that's the case. I don't think it's like an alternate drop spot of theirs because we've never seen it before.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not like an alternate drop whatsoever.
It's like time wasted rotating is time lost killing kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
when you're in the position that EFC are in. And even PassionFruit dropped around Military Island area. So considering there seemed to be like PassionFruit, EFC, and Pro Air around the military kind of base area, they didn't really clash against each other. That's a little bit unusual.
Yeah, we had quite a few teams on Military Island, more than I've realized, right? You mentioned we have PassionFruit, Dior, Punjab, Pro Era, and EFC. Some of these teams are sitting more comfortably in the lead, so I understand why maybe they just want to start off the drop, loot early, and just take fights if fights come their way. Pro Era though, Pro Era's alternate drop spot is military based though, so that is why they were there. Yeah. So I think it's only really Dior and EFC and PassionFruit that kind of changed it up. Dior with the purpose of taking the 4 kills from Punjab, which they did. Great to them. We're only 4 players down in the lobby 9 minutes in, and it is just the Punjab team that's sitting out. And we're going to go into the next circle shift. Finally, we get to talk about the circle, and it goes up north, and it's looking like another potential Rozhok ending, man. Like, I know how crazy these circles are, and I see Rozhok in zone a good chunk of it. Just one southeastern shift, and teams are going to be moaning and groaning once again. Of course, HQA, they might have a field day with it, but we'll see. We'll see how these teams rotate. We'll see where they stack up in the next few minutes. I don't expect any engagements coming out of this one, but you never know, man. Final day is always packed with crazy action.
Like, I'm looking at this circle and going, I'm actually not surprised. Maybe it's easier for me to say that because I've been watching multiple PMCOs across the days and across the weeks, different regions, and I'm seeing these kind of circles around the Rozhok, Riverside area way more often than we used to. So I do think it is a genuine shift in the circle algorithms. Now, I don't know if the other teams will be aware of that, but they should look to try and pick up on those things a little bit quicker. That's why looking at other regional PMCOs is actually beneficial to helping you as a team, because you might see those patterns in the circle shifts. But we saw a player, Warning 6, got caught off by Team Ace around Watertown area. So that's going to leave Warning 6 down to just 3 players.
Yeah, Warning 6 down to 3 players. They are in that grouping that I said need a Rocky Balboa day, like a huge come-up day. And starting it off with losing a player scouting on rotation, definitely not a good start. Mezexis and SegmentX, now these 2 teams, they have had quite the beef, I would say. Out of all the teams in PMCO Finals, it's these 2 teams that have really had it out for each other. And I got a feeling, normally they wouldn't maybe press on this, but they know it's the final day. Mezexis sitting really comfortable. SegmentX, not as comfortable, but they're going to press this. They're going to go for the push. Normally, maybe not, but this is the final day, baby. And Mezexis has a point to make.
Oh, Russell onto King A just like that. Russell said in a tweet, as far as I know, that they were looking to chase down that first place, right? They want to be on the tippity top of the mountain in North America PMCO, and this is the way they're going to look to do it. But Prophecy with that Uzi is going to come on in to get that knockdown on the Bishop. Now, that by no means puts the advantage into the hands of SegmentX, but it does give them a tiny bit of space. King A's knocked down. Lolo's further back, but Lolo can't get closer to the rest of his team. A lovely grenade by Prophecy, I believe, helps to confirm the kill on to Bishop, so it does put Mezexis down to confirmed 3-man team. But Russell onto Lolo instantly wipes away that outside mark for Prophecy and leaves it with just Valak and Prophecy inside that one building.
Yeah, the Overwatch player from SegmentX gets knocked down, so everything kind of just breaks apart. Now, SegmentX, they're just doing the best they can. It's just down to Prof now. Prof goes for the drop shot, and yeah, they didn't even manage to... Oh, they got a thirst onto Bishop. Okay, I completely missed that. I missed that completely. The action, it just looked like Mezexis had so much control over it, but they pick up 4 kill points. They trade 1 player off. I would say for Mezexis, a team that's just looking for the points, this is actually not too bad of a trade. 4 points for 1 death on the team. Not too bad.
Oh, LeveLx and JCR. JCR team that I've noticed has been really one of the most, if not the most consistent teams around their current positional area in the leaderboard, where they've gotten 30, 32, and I think 35 across the first 3 days of the final. So if I was going to look at the teams to perform good enough today to make it into top 9, I would be looking at them. But as you rightly said, all it takes is one massive pop-off day, one massive pop-up score, and that could be do or die for JCR. So they're not going to want to take all the risks in the world. They do have all 4 players up. They have gotten a kill onto the side of LeveLx. They're in a little bit of a similar position. They're currently looking over and towards the 15th spot, so they have way more to lose, and they lose another player.
Yeah, JCR, they're on the edge of the hard shift too, so I think they realize this, and we see one player already getting a higher angle. This is an isolated 4v4. Very low chance of a team rotating onto their side, so they're taking advantage of that. They're pressing this fight. They already got one confirmed kill and another knock, so they're smelling points and they're smelling blood. Sitting at 97 points, they have that cushion to be a little bit aggressive and a little bit more confident, but they're definitely still need a good day, and they're starting it off with this fight.
Jonu isn't going to give up that fight. Lovely pre-fire shots by Look, and actually, no, I thought it was 5, but Look ran them over, and that's going to be the end of LeveLx, just like that. JCR pick up 4 kills, no casualties, on the hard shift edge of the circle, outside Everest. Job done, JCR. They're going to instantly move ahead of both Syndicate and SegmentX on the leaderboard. Beautiful.
Speaking about Syndicate and SegmentX, they're out of this game. So they're kind of, you know, a little bit flustered right now. Syndicate, however, are in this game, and they were dead center of that last circle shift in a very, very strong position. No matter how the circle shifts from here on out, Syndicate should have an easy access to the north or the south, depending on the shift, and the shift is going to come out very soon. All they got to do is just hold down the compound they're at and just wait for the shift and play it accordingly, and Syndicate should have a good game.
M19, when you're talking about teams, good games, they're a team that need a good game. They're currently on a total of 8 points in Erangel. I repeat, 8 points in the Erangel games across the finals. Has been a mare of a map for that team, and they really need some massive results coming into today's 4 games. We're looking at EFC, we're looking at Dior. EFC are not looking good because Spring is left on his own, and Dior, they came into this game, they took out Punjab United, and they've just come in and they've taken out the majority of EFC.
Yeah, they're already at 6 kills, and it looks like they're going to get this full reset as the enemy team that was close to them already went for the rotation. So full reset, 25 seconds left. They're not going to have much information on the next rotation, so they're going to have to do like a YOLO one, but they can get 3 players up unless M19 might smell blood. No, they're also prioritizing rotation, and we see the circle on the screen. Syndicate, yeah, it centralizes right onto them. They are sitting pretty. JCR's got the Mount Everest side on the southwest. It's looking good for both of those teams.
I also think the Panthers have a beautiful spot in the Cathedral and the compounds outside rooms where they are going to have very few teams around them. It's only, I think, the side of Team Ace, no, HQA, that's behind them, whereas every other team is in front of them. A Pro Era taking the shots towards these teams that are to the eastern side of them, and Alucard finds Spring. That's the end of EFC 1. Gigantic team out of the lobby in this Erangel game early on. We have 12 teams left, 41 players as Fishy fires up.
Ooh, and Mezexis taking out Dior. Okay, Dior, they need some good games. They went out early, but they picked up kills along the way. So that is a saving grace for them. But Mezexis looking really strong. EFC is already out. Maybe Mezexis is going to take that #1 spot today if the trend continues. Enigma Fan Club, they're playing a little bit too loose right now, and it's not working out for them.
That's a smoke being thrown out by Singh, followed by a grenade. I think they both know they're there. Chico's on top of the rock, so he has a little bit of elevation. He uses smokes to get into the boogie. He recognizes that his grenade is going to be cooked up with DP28. That spray should come through. Oh, mighty DP28 Lord. What a way you've come on through. That is Mezexis. 9 kills already in this game.
Oh, Mezexis is fired up right now. I want to see this Mezexis for the rest of the 3 games. They need to play exactly like this. And they're pushing on to Frazier right now. They know Frazier's in the smokes. They see the smokes come laid down. Frazier gets one. Frazier going for the thirst, not able to get that thirst. Alucard is going to be able to get that revive, and Mezexis will reset back to a 3-man team.
Oh, and then HQA, another team looking to overtake that first spot, are going to encroach on the compound that's held onto by the Panthers. But what I like about the Panthers is that they have 2 players outside those buildings on that little dip, which does give that beautiful line of support for their side. However, Louis is on top of the roof, and that instantly helps HQA as they look to use the wall linings for their advantage.
Yeah, the Panthers definitely trying to escape right now with that smoke path to try and regroup with the rest of the team. They definitely don't feel comfortable with Louis on top of the roof. And when the next circle comes out, M19, okay, out of the teams at the bottom that need that big, you know, Rocky Balboa day, M19 is there, and Warning 6 also have the zone. So this could be the start of the comeback that I mentioned, but they got to play it perfectly well. Pro Era, another team that's kind of, you know, down there in 12th place with 74 points. They got a split going on, one across, one below, on both sides of the river. But with that circle shift, it doesn't really help out that they have that split. They got to fight their way into the next one. So they need to group up and do it quickly.
I like the fact that the Panthers aren't fully disengaging. They're kind of disengaging little by little and actually moving in onto the edge of the circle. But I think that's JCR from above with Louis on that roof side. Chucks out a grenade, gets one knockdown. JCR third parties from the Everest side of this circle. And that is it. The Panthers are down to 2. Just like that.
The high ground out of JCR. JCR looking so good right now. Just really clean picks and fights. Out of all the early game fights, they're the only team that hasn't lost a player. Every other team that's been popping off with kills, they've been losing players left and right. So JCR looking so strong and so clean right now.
HQA are going to use that low side coastal line by the river because they recognize that JCR did indeed help them get that third party. They also got a knockdown on teammates across the river, so they feel even more confident holding on to this area while the Panthers has another casualty down, so that leaves them with just 1 player up. To remind you, the Panthers, they are in 8th with 87 points coming into today's games. JCR ahead of them are already having a pop-off game, so that does, you know, create a bigger cushion coming into game 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, the teams that have that nice cushion, they're looking to make that cushion even bigger. And I think we missed it in the kill feed, but I think that was Pro Era. Pro Era has been taken out. M19 has picked up a few kills, I think, on Mezexis and Pro Era. So M19, I think they're 4-man up still, so they're looking good. And Warning 6, they're down to 3. We saw them lose one early, but they're at that Wizard Tower. If they get the next zone, they're in a great position. If they don't, it is really hard to move out of that Wizard Tower position.
Pro Era still have Seagull, so they are still in this game. 19's 25 players. Teammates, I think, are down to 2. They're both in the river on the northern side. The next phase is about to pop up. Where is it going to go? Is it going to stay up north? Is it going to shift down south? It does indeed shift down south. The Warning 6 have been gifted the circle in this phase.
The Warning 6 with that early sacrifice, it is paying off. They get that circle. No other team has a circle, and from Warning 6's position, I don't think any team is really going to press them either. Nobody has the cars to really push them besides the team on the south, and there's so much spacing on the south for the teams to just move in and survive another circle. So Warning 6 chilling right now.
Chi Huang with a grenade to get that double kill onto Team Ace. It puts them up to 4. They're a player down. They still have 3 players up. I think decided JCR. Oh no! HQA used those vehicles to get ahead of JCR. So now the gatekeep on the lower part of the hill, although HQA need to be careful that they're not stabbed from behind, can indeed stop JCR from entering the circle.
Yeah, but this actually is really good for JCR. That should be an easy wipe onto HQA. HQA, they moved in a little bit too fast. This is a mistake that a lot of teams make. You need to fight for your side of the circle. You can't just go into the circle and expect to keep it. And we see it now. JCR, one of them get knocked, but HQA definitely in a really tough position, and JCR is going to look to press right into them.
Knockdown onto Luke will stop them pushing in a bit more heavily, but I think they recognize that they have got HQA down to about 1 player, maybe 2, so they know they can eventually overtake this spot. And now it is going to be 1 coming on in. Fi is going to be ticked down by a pre-grenade from Louis, but the M4 from Fi gets it better, and that is HQA wiped out. JCR are on 7 kills, and they're looking for more.
Yeah, M19 down to a 3-man. They're right next to the last player of Pro Era. Syndicate swimming across. I think Syndicate as a 4-man team with smokes, they'll be able to break into this circle just fine.
And Seacook gets a backstab knock onto one of the M19 players, but Batman saves the day to get the end of Pro Era. But that's gonna allow, of course, Syndicate to distract and split up the side of M19. Revenge goes down, and Batman, along with Zorf, actually no, make that Batman just the last player up for M19. I think he just about has the edge of the circle. Not quite. He's gonna try and probably heal up as JCR onto the Panthers. That is gonna be the Panthers eliminated. We are down to our final 4 teams.
Yeah, final 4, and Batman, once his first aids are out, he will die. He has no cover to run across into the next zone. So it's JCR, Warning 6, and Syndicate, the 4-man team from that strong position I was talking about earlier, has managed to make their way into the end game with 4 people.
Oh my god. Warning 6. Is the sniper tower gonna be the reason why they make it into the top 9, or one of the monumental reasons they make it into the top 9? Remember the final day of the group stage, right? The final day of the group stage, Warning 6 glowed up so hard. Will history repeat itself as the last player of M19 is out and we're down to our final 3 teams?
Yeah, and the next circle is going to have a perfect 3-way fight ensue. The circle centers right in between all 3 teams. No hard cover to be seen anywhere around there. It is everybody's going to run in with smokes and guns blazing. And I honestly I can't say who has the advantage here. It looks like it's an even playing field for everybody.
I think it's Syndicate, because I think they have a tiny low ground dip that they're going to be able to play with for at least a little bit of time. Of course, it does bunch them up a little bit more closely together, so they should look to pull out those smokes so one of them can kind of prone on through. Fi is aware of that, so he's just going to spray in the smoke. What he might not realize is that he did take that Syndicate player down to just 2 health. But Issue comes in on the sideline to knock down Look on the high ground peak. That is going to leave JCR down to 3 players and possibly give confidence for Syndicate to push this a bit harder.
Yeah, this last game ending is going to be a very slow grind with pot shots and trades back and forth. Fi getting one back onto Syndicate. And Warning 6, is that tower still in play? I don't think it should be. Yeah, the zone is slowly going to push them out. Once it's out of play, Warning 6 will have to be snaking with the rest of everyone else.
But I think JCR and Syndicate, they're focused on each other, although just as I say that, Cash gets knocked down, so of course Syndicate and JCR are looking, hey, wait, let's forget about each other for a sec, let's look on the other team that is towards the other side of us. But Issue instantly knocks down Look, and with that smoke, it's going to be that trade forward, it's going to be the back and forth, the tick-tock. The knockdowns fired on through, but still, Syndicate looking to keep themselves up as a full squad, but Fi on the Issue, and Look gets confirmed with a fantastic grenade from Brain.
Oh, that blown up UAS saving him from that fire spreading onto him. And it's not over. It's still a back and forth. Syndicate now down to only one player. Warning 6 got a full reset. They're 3-man up. It's a 3v3v1 right now. And the zone has shifted towards Warning 6's position.
You can knock them out, but if you don't confirm, they're getting straight back up. Warning 6, buy those rocks. Use those smokes to wrap around that might be looking for that little bit of a peek onto JCR, and that's where Fi is going to chuck the grenade in that direction. A little bit overcooked, unfortunately, but I like the attempt. It might suppress him a little bit more. Brain goes down. That's going to be the end of Syndicate. We're down to our final 2 teams.
Down to the final 2, and it is a 3v3. Warning 6 should still have more utility left than JCR, because JCR is throwing them, but it does not matter if Fi just gets the knock, and now it's a 3v2.
Rodas chucks up a grenade. The players of JCR a little bit more bunched up together. So if they get the idea, if they get the mini red zone in play, that could see JCR being taken out of the question. But Fi, he's standing up. He's standing up, but inactive finds Nemesis. Murder. He's going to be wrapping around, dancing with the blue zone of death while inactive holds onto that tiny, teeny, low ground dip in the open field.
Stand up, Murda, not connecting the shot, so the trade goes out to inactive. It is now a 1v2 for Fi, and Fi is at 1 HP. It looks like it's going to be the end of him, and there we go. Warning 6. The Rocky Balboa movie is just now starting, and they got the chicken dinner. The comeback is happening. I'm hearing that oh so good montage music playing in my ears right now for Warning 6. Great game for them. That's it. Exactly.
You're meant to keep talking over it, man. You're meant to keep talking over it. You know.
I was enjoying the music, but what I want to see is the leaderboards. Right, we've had so many teams have good games that needed them, and teams in the middle of a pack having decent games that even with Warning 6, obviously, you know, they shot up in the leaderboards. But I want to see where they actually are at right now. And what a game. What a game. Warning 6, Rocky Balboa. Let's go. Let's do it.
Like, it was only 6 kills, but it's the 15 placement points that are just also so valuable to Warning 6's climb up the tables. 21 points in total. I know Warning 6 won, but can we just take a little bit of time to talk about JCR? 26 points in that game alone. 14 kills. I know, we were talking before broadcast, and I said, hey, JCR, consistent. 30, 32, 35. Day 4, they got this. You're like, last day, you never know. Ha, JCR, I believed in you. You come into game 1, 26 points. That will pretty much, in my eyes, secure their top 9 spot.
Yeah, they were in 7th place, 97 points, and picking up 26 points with 1 game alone, and they still got 3 more to play. That momentum, how consistent they have been, credits to you. You are absolutely correct, Imperium. They are one of the most consistent teams. 30 points, 30 points, 30 points, 26 points in 1 game. So I guess the final day, they're the team that's just going to pop off even more. That's the type of team they are. Beautifully done by JCR. But Warning 6, they got the points, but not just that. They got the confidence now. They got the momentum. You know that chicken dinner is... Actually, that's their only chicken dinner. But that is probably the most, like... I'm at a loss of words. The best chicken dinner that they will ever have in quite a long time. Because this is the start for them to try and qualify. And once again, it's the top 9. Not top 8 anymore. So that's even better for Warning 6. They really have a chance at it now. From the bottom up to the top in 1 game. That's what finals are all about, baby. Final day, every game can change everything.
Well, can they keep it up? Can they keep it up? They're going to have to keep it up. And we'll find out if we can, because we are going for a quick break. But we will be back in a matter of minutes for Game 2 in the final day of the PMCO North America Spring Split Finals.
OnePlus 8T. This has the 120 hertz, so it is wicked smooth.
15 minutes will get you charged up for a whole day.
And this has a quad camera too. We got a 48, a 16, a 5, and a 2 megapixel. OnePlus 8 teeth. This has the 120 hertz, so it is wicked smooth.
15 minutes will get you charged up for a whole day.
And this has a quad camera too. We got a 48, a 16, a 5, and a 2 megapixel.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final day of the PMCO North America Spring Split Finals. My name is Imperium with the wonderful Zute. This is brought to you all by our wonderful sponsors, OnePlus and the OnePlus 8T and Game 1 in Erangel. What a game.
Yeah. Leaderboard right now. Just put it on the screen for as long as possible while we talk over it. Leaderboard
Yes.
right now. Okay, this is what the viewers want to see. We want to see who's where. And I was trying to track the placement changes. Like, this team moved up, this team moved down. Honestly, it does not matter because each game, we're going to have such a huge shakeup. We're just going to take a look at it game by game. And a warning 6... 81 points now, right? They needed that Rocky Balboa game, and they did. They're one placement point, or not one placement point, they're one place behind qualifying at 9th place, and they're only 8 points away. But look at that point spread. 81, 81, 79, 79, 70. So all of these teams are still in the running for qualifying.
And look at JCR on the other end. They moved up from 7th to 4th. They overtook SegmentX. They overtook Syndicate. They overtook PassionFruit. And that even makes me think that, I'm sorry, I love you guys, but that makes me think, PassionFruit, could you potentially drop out of the top 9? Because they're only like 25 or so points ahead of 9th place, if that. 8,909. They're actually 89, 90. They're 22 points ahead of 9th. That's they need a good game.
Yeah, I think PassionFruit, they're a little bit in the hot water now, so to say, but they should be fine because I've seen the resolve out of PassionFruit. And they're pretty consistent as a team in general, not as consistent as JCR that we're touching upon. But one team that I'm actually kind of worried about is SegmentX. Okay, they have been all over the place. Before the last game where they got the chicken dinner yesterday, they were in 12th place and they got a huge chicken dinner on the very last game, shot up to 5th place. And then they got completely wiped by Mezexis, and they're now down to 7th. It's that trend of the up and down that we've been seeing out of SegmentX the whole entirety of the finals. So I'm a little bit worried about them. They might pop off, they might not, and they might just drop out of the top 9. And there's another thing, particularly on Sanhok, Mezexis. SegmentX kicked Mezexis out of Painan, right? Now, Mezexis is sitting very comfortably right now, and think long-term. When you go into PMPL, if SegmentX goes into PMPL with you, they're going to keep taking Painan from you. So Mezexis, they wiped SegmentX that first game. So the kind of storyline's already there. The narrative is already there. Mezexis might just drop Painan on SegmentX to take them out. Not just of Painan, but maybe out of the qualifying for PMPL.
Mezexis is going to be like, oh, we hunting, boys. We hunting. We're going to be hunting. We're going to catch them. We're going to shoot them down, and we're going to take them out. And if I was SegmentX, I would definitely be quite fearful of that because, like you said, they're they're in a bit of a dangerous spot. Looking on over towards a couple of teams who did have a positive result in that game one, overshadowed of course by Warning 6 and JCR. M19, for all the stuttering they've had in Erangel across the 6 games that we'd had up until today, they did get 13 points in that game. And that does keep them within that shouting distance of being in the top 9. So I am happy to see that they got that positive result, and I suppose broke the mold to what has been very poor results in Erangel in the finals.
I feel like they just broke the curse, so to say. You told me, and they got what you said, 6 points in 6 games on Erangel.
Yeah, or 8 points in 6 games, or something like that.
Yeah, very low. But either way, we're going into Sanhok now, a completely different map. So take it away, Imperium. What do we have in store for Sanhok?
You know what? We have Welcome to the Jungle. We've got fun and games, baby. We've got everything you want, everything you need. We have got the teams fighting for the top 9 spots to move through to the PMPL.
Yes, sir. And the first thing I noticed, I hyped it up during the leaderboards, but I see Mezexis already dropping back for their Corey position. Now, honestly, as a competitor and as a spectator now, if I was like a coach, so to say, for Mezexis, I would honestly say, like, you guys should target SegmentX for the rest of the day, because it's just Painan for me. They take Painan from you, and Painan is a good position on Sanhok. Sure, I mentioned the other day, Corey's not that bad, but I don't think Corey's as good as Painan, so I'm a little bit disappointed, but they could potentially have targeted SegmentX, not just in Sanhok, but also Miramar and Erangel. And it's a scummy thing to do, but in the competitive nature, it is probably the most beneficial thing for them to do, considering SegmentX is taking one of their loot locations.
It's competition within game. It is fair. It is part of it, and you always got to look out for yourself. I will say that, remember, I think what happened yesterday, it was a different kind of circle, to be fair, but SegmentX disengaged out of Painan, and Mezexis still caught them off. So there's nothing to say that, like, they're, I wouldn't say luring SegmentX into a false sense of security, but there's nothing to say that they won't try and catch SegmentX out later on in the game on a rotation in a circle. So as much as I totally agree with what you're saying, if I was Mezexis, I'd jump in Painan too. We know how creative, how crafty Mezexis have proven to be in these games on the rotations.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. Maybe their plan to, hunt SegmentX comes later in the game. But we did see that first circle. It is more towards the northwest, not too heavily favoring the northwestern island, but there is definitely a good chance it might go there once again. And another thing was, I just saw EFC drop in a completely different spot once again. They dropped around the bridges in the middle to the west of boot camp, not in Hot 10, where they always usually go to. So EFC, they're doing a little bit weird things today. I'm not sure what their game plan is, so to say, but yeah, it's interesting.
Oh man, SegmentX, I think maybe not only realize the fact that they don't want to hang around the Painan anymore because of potentially Mezexis, but also even just pushing into a more controlling position in a circle. They've dipped out of Painan fairly swiftly, like 2 minutes until the blue zone starts closing in, and SegmentX are already moving out of Painan. But we do see ESC finding a player from the Panthers, and that's one knockdown just like that. Now, I think unlike yesterday, the Panthers did drop on the mountain, so as opposed to dropping, I think it's Camp Alpha, they have dropped in the mountain, but it hasn't stopped them losing a player.
Yeah, I can't blame the Panthers for that at all. EFC dropping in a completely new location, so the timing of the rotation for the Panthers was perfectly fine. But EFC just doing something completely different, so catching the Panthers off guard. Yeah, there was no way they could have prevented that, to be honest, because every other game they were fine with the rotations and timing, but EFC changing things up. Are they targeting the Panthers? The Panthers in 8th place right now with 93 points. So one of the teams in hot water. So it is actually crucial that EFC did kill one of the Panthers, and this could hurt the Panthers running for a qualifying spot in the long run.
EFC, they're just having fun. Let's be fair, they are just having fun. So the Panthers will have to be on full guard in this mountainous area of Sanhok. The only thing that they can hope is that because this phase one circle is so heavy towards the northwest island, that if they hold EFC down long enough, that EFC might get third party from another team, right, and give the Panthers a little bit more room to breathe. But the way the Panthers are separated, it's not looking good as Dayua goes down at the hands of Spring.
I actually really love that out of Spring. That was such a sneaky flank. This position is notoriously hard to break into with the Panthers on the high ground, but Spring forgot about Jinx over there. It's completely fine, though. The Panthers are still in a pinch, and EFC, if they're like the EFC I know, they should be able to finish off this fight.
Oh no, Jinx I think is on the edge of that cliffside, and it could be Punjab United that could third party them. I know Punjab definitely are aware of that, right? They're hearing all the shots, and they did take that kill away from EFC to take out the second last player of the Panthers, but it's not looking good. Do you think there's something to be said where the Panthers didn't join up quickly enough inside this mountain area as either a 2-2 split or even as a 3-1 split because of that phase one circle being so kind of heavily up towards the northwest island?
I think their timing was perfectly fine. I'll say it again. With the EFC dropping in a completely new location, the timing of the rotations, it's like a mental clock in all these players' head. They kind of have a mental countdown of where teams will be. And as far as the Panther goes, there should not have been a team there at that time. And the team that is there, EFC, they had no reason to be there because they've never dropped in that area. They're always in the hot 10 side. So yeah, it honestly, I'm just gonna say it just sucks. It just sucks for the Panthers. And I just feel bad for them. They're down to a solo now, and he's gonna try his best to snake it out for the rest of this Sanhok map, but we're only 7 minutes in. God bless and good luck to you, Mr. Panther. I hope you put on your snake boots and you manage to do something amazing with them. Yeah.
The only thing you can hope for in my eyes is just that so many other teams around them take each other out. You might be able to pick off a kill or even just get out of there and, like you said, get those snake boots on and hunker down in towards a corner or a shack or somewhere where he's not spotted. For the Panthers, they're happy and safe where they're currently standing. They're not happy where they stand in the overall standings. It is what it is, unfortunately. But in this final day, I mentioned yesterday, I would like to see them have that kind of blow-up game just to say to themselves, hey, you know, we deserved better. We should have done better, but we also know our potential. They only have 3 more games to do, but I'd still like to see it.
Since we're on the topic of the Panthers, they had an amazing day 1 into the finals, right? But I think every consecutive day, they've been dropping just a little bit lower and lower and lower. And it's looking like that trend is still happening. I hope they can break that mold just like M19 did with their Erangel curse. And for the last 2 games, they, you know, pick it up a little bit and hold their position in the top 9.
You're coming in from the edge of the blue, up as a full squad. They did get enough points to keep them within poking distance of the top 9. They're actually in 9th place. To be fair, they're still there, but they definitely need overall a stronger result. Pro Era, by the way, on a side note, Pro Era, instead of dropping around the boot camp hills, they actually drop down by Nakam, so they actually change up their drop spot for this Sanhok game to try and maybe play a little bit safer. They've been rewarded for that because they played on the coastline. I think they even took a little bit of a botation, a small botation into Northwest Island. They come into the western side. So with that phase 2 shift, credit to them, they're going to pull that off as Mezexis and Ace are going to battle it out.
Yeah, this fight is the exact same fight we saw yesterday. Alucard drove the buggy into the compounds below Ace, and Ace picked him up, pushed him quickly. So, yeah, it is the same tale repeating itself, but this time around, Mezexis made a little bit of adjustment, and they've already killed 1 player of Ace, have another knocked, and they're 4 players up. So definitely doing their research, changing it up a little bit, and it is paying off for Mezexis.
Team Ace are currently in 13th, 79 points, only 10 points behind Dior, who are in 9th place. So they will not want to go out early in this game. For Mezexis, it's a completely different story. They're in 3rd, 137 points. Yeah, they're going to look to chase down 1st place, but if they go down early this for this Sanhok game, they're not really going to worry about it too much. So definitely, Team Ace do have more to lose in this battle.
Yeah, and Punjab being taken out by SegmentX right now. I believe Punjab is only 1 up. Nimbu, though, getting a double knock in the kill feed, but he does get finished off, and I don't think they confirmed any thirst on to SegmentX. So SegmentX, they're now in that little compound right below EFC, a really strong position. Yes. And EFC, though, that team is so good. Those shots. And they're controlling the strongest position in the game right now. They have the entirety of that mountaintop covered, and I'm 100% confident they know how to play that area unlike any other team.
Well, you know, for Poops and Giggles, they probably would have heard those shots. Do you think there's a chance they might look to push it?
No, that push, they'd have to push off the mountaintop, downhill, and then push into the compounds. It would take way too long. They're just going to continue to hold their top position advantage. They're just waiting for the circles to close around them in a way where they get to decide which side is going to be the side to farm for kills.
Like I mentioned earlier, Pro Era gone on the coastal line push, and it's put them in a pretty strong position, but there is a team a little bit to the north of them. These hills are quite valuable because they're not too close to the mountain where you're still actually able to see with a relevant scope teams that are hanging around the western side of that mountain, or at least on that western side of the top mountain. But Dior in the back line, like I said, they need to push in, and they are spotting out one of the JCR players. Not taking any shots. That trigger discipline is quite valuable.
Yeah, if he took those shots there, and even if he got the knock, it's not a thirst, and then they're stuck on the bridge, pretty much. So trigger discipline definitely there, and I'm pretty sure he was hoping that JCR would stand still in a position where they could go for a knock and thirst. But did Fi spot something? Fi turned around instantly.
Well, no.
Maybe he's got
maybe it's just a little bit of caution. Maybe it's caution, right? Maybe it's just common sense.
Oh,
that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, look at that circle. EFC had a great position, but now it almost does not matter. I've never seen such a hard shift to the water on the northwest. This actually works out so much for Pro Era. I was going to say earlier, Pro Era is not in the best spot because they would have to fight their way inwards past a bunch of teams. But now all of a sudden, they could get central positioning. Alucard once again with that buggy right into the hands of JCR, making the same mistake he did on... I'm sorry, I just got to point it out. That is twice now we've seen Alucard drive a buggy on Sanhok and just instantly die for it. I'm calling you out right now, Alucard. You guys are doing great in the finals, but don't do that in PMPL. Please, do not do that in PMPL.
Hey, you know what? There's always something to learn. Every day's a school day. But of course, Dior did use that time to move across the bridge unnoticed, and they will have heard those shots. Nice by Fi. It's going to be a little bit aware. Murder on the LeveLx as well. I know Prophecy just took down Look, but I got to say, fair play to JCR. Yeah, okay, that player was fully forward up and towards the mountainside, but at least suppresses SegmentX is quite valuable in this fight against both Dior and Mezexis.
Yeah, I love the pacing of the game and how fast it has suddenly shifted with that insane hardship. All of a sudden, like, all the teams in the lobby, they see that hardship and they're like, all right, it's go time. We gotta go because we need to start moving if we want to get into that next circle. And it's just fights everywhere with that hardship. Man. And now Ace is in the mix. Ace is trying to swim over. Dior's trying to recover. JCR taking that buggy, trying to leave. He's going out the water like a Marine. Oh, man. It is crazy right now.
Luckily, Fi was there with Nemesis to get that counter knock, that counter kill. But I don't know if Fi has spotted all of the teammates players. Nomi is coming in on the coastal line. You also have Dior of Nesquik of Dior in play. And then on the actual bridge, on the other end of the table, you have Syndicate and PassionFruit. I said about PassionFruit, their journey isn't over. Their spot isn't secured in the PMPL. And if they keep on going in this game with these days' results, it's only going to get worse and worse, especially considering Syndicate are currently in 5th place ahead of them on 114 points. And that is going to be it. That's going to be the side of PassionFruit down to just one player.
Yeah, one player, and he's swimming in the water, so he's not able to heal when that blue zone starts chunking him little by little. They did secure that one kill. He went for the thirst. Maybe it was a good trade-off. There was a chance he could have defended, and they could have maybe reset the fight, but instead he goes for the thirst, and he trades his life for it. So they get one kill point, and another circle shift. EFC is actually, once again, chilling on the mountaintop. Pro Era, all they need to do is take out LeveLx, and they could be in a decent position on the high ground to control everything else. As for all the other teams, they have yet to adjust to that first initial hard shift, and they're still trying to make their way in.
On a side note, that last player of the Panthers is inside Camp Alpha, just going, nope, I'm not here, guys. I'm not here. Nobody go here. It's all cool. Just wrap around me. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. And that's a good place to be, because when you're on your own, being in like a city is actually a little bit more beneficial, at least kind of short term, which you low-key have to play as a solo player. But looking on towards the hills, HQA are coming in behind the side of EFC, but EFC have a lovely spread across that mountainside to the point where they're definitely aware that with these circle shifts, teams are going to be coming behind them.
Yeah, Enigma holding the flank, and HQ8, though, they're so smart. They're just going to tank that blue for an extra few seconds to wait for the enemy team to think there's no one coming. Yes. And look at the timing. It is absolutely perfect timing out of HQ8. Now, HQ8, they're a 4-man team. They're going to push up here and can easily backstab EFC and take this position from the... Enigma gets spotted. He does manage to go prone, but it's not looking good for EFC now.
No, Enigma's good. Enigma's good. He's going to stay there. He's on his own, though. So he's going to have to be careful. HK, unfortunately, missed the opportunity to strike in a perfect manner to get that knockdown, but with a player either side, Louis and Cross, indeed, it's not looking too good for Enigma. The blue zone is, of course, encapsulating these teams in a multiple fashion on this phase 4. Grenade being chucked up. Cross is actually going to go in towards the other side and join up with the rest of his team to give a little bit more space to Enigma, but Enigma is going to spot him out with the Vector. Oh my lord! Cross! How the hell did you survive that?
Oh, if he was in the blue, he would have gone down, but now it's Enigma pretty much in a 1v4. He's isolated. There's nothing left for him to do. Enigma goes down. HQA, they're going to start controlling this mountaintop, and in a 4v3 situation, if any team could do it from the high tops, it is definitely HQA.
On a side note, we support farmers have been continually put under pressure by a few of the EFC players. Look at that spread of the 3 remaining EFC players. Can we just mention that? Like, that is a ridiculous spread as 3 players. You have 1 on each mountainside. The circle does shift over to the northeast. That is wild. Taking the spot of Pro Air and LeveLx and go, nah, you can't stay there, guys. You cannot stay there. And Chico Mezexis comes in from the side of the rock to knock down a player of HQA.
Warning 6. Look at where Warning 6 is. They were on the edge of that zone, and they get plus.
God.
No, the music, the Rocky Balboa. It's happening. It's happening. Warning 6 can really do this. Unfortunately, for Pro Era, that is a hardship that they are not looking too happy about. Mezexis is now pushing up onto HQA. HQA trying to defend this push. Not only do they have to defend this push, they got to push down into the crossfire that EFC has set up just as well.
Lovely pre-fire shots by Chico. Catches a second knockdown onto the players of HQA. Unfortunately, nobody's confirmed yet for HQA, but Cross is going to stay in the blue to try and catch up Mezexis. What HQA are trying to do is they're trying to thread the needle between hovering on the blue zone and allowing Mezexis to get ahead of them so they can stab HQA in the back. It is going to force, of course, a lot of players to get struck down health-wise, but if they can time it right, it might work out in their favor. But I think they've left it a bit too late, and Mezexis are given free reign to push down this hill.
Mezexis ending up running into SegmentX. So I guess it's going to work out. They're still going to fight each other. HQA going for that first aid strategy. I like it. Lewis goes down. Chico last up for Mezexis in zone. And I think he's safe. He is not safe. EFC, that crossfire, that split working out for them.
This Sanhok game is so crazy. They're all taking each other out left, right, and center. I also saw on the kill feed that LeveLx and Pro Air were fighting on their rotations into the circle. We're down to 5 teams, 14 players. LeveLx are hugging the side of that mountainside. It's not the best place to be, but when they're talking about not getting crossfired from a certain angle, they do hold on to that position. But Warning 6, their 2 players knocked down. They're both getting revived up. It is going to give them a little bit of a sideline to push in, but it's straight out into the open. M19 are waiting. M19 are waiting, but Revenge gets knocked down by LeveLx.
Yeah, Ralphino is actually in a shack that is in zone. So Ralphino, unless if he takes greedy peeks, he will be able to survive this circle and get, I believe, at least second place, because this circle is wide in the open, like you said, and then it's going to be a killing zone for everybody.
HQA go down in 5th. 4 teams left, and I think that's the end of EFC going down to full damage, if I'm not... No, not quite. They're still in the game. We still have 4 teams left up. Warning 6, LeveLx, M19, and EFC. 3 of these teams need massive games. And LeveLx are on 3 kills. They're going to get a knockdown beast on Peralta. Looking on through, but M19 are going to swap them in from the sidelines. Ralphino is doing a great job for M19.
Yeah, Batman. Batman made it to make it into zone. Oh, no. Batman just went down to Warning 6. And the FC, they have zone here.
Oh
they will
God.
Finish off the kills for Ralphino. They will give Ralphino the placement points he needs. And it's going to come down to LeveLx, M19, and EFC. EFC, they don't have zone at this top, I don't think.
They do. I think they do. That tiny little tip is inside the circle of LeveLx.
It does not matter.
That is it. EFC, just like that, wipe out 2 teams from the high mountainside edge, and we're left with Ralphino on his own. But his position, Zute, is not in the circle. He is a sitting duck. The gods of PUBG Mobile North America are waiting to take him out.
Yeah, Ralphino, he's going to go for the first aids, but I think he's confident in knowing he has secured that second place. If anything, just give Spring. Oh, that's a kill point for Ralphino. That's a kill point for Ralphino. Ralphino, after he finishes, he better take that kill point. He better take it. Oh, Spring died. Oh, that was a kill point for Ralphino. He missed out on it. Well, we know who's winning this one. EFC with 13 kills. We saw them do that split earlier on, right? That 1-1-1-1-1. Yeah, okay, I didn't think he was going to be able to kill him. If he did,
Yeah.
that would have been insane. That Spring with 10 kills.
10 kills.
Oh my god.
Spring with 10 kills. I think that's the biggest individual player kill for a game in the whole PMCO so far. I think one player got 8, maybe 9, but double digits for one player. I think Spring has just absolutely smashed it out of the park. And the EFC, they don't need to worry about it, right? They are just the masters of the PUBG Mobile puppetry inside the final game of the PMCO North America Spring Split. It is wild.
Yeah, they played that split and it looked shaky because they were all separated. But that split and that control on the mountaintop, it's specifically to farm kills and play individually because it is so difficult to get pushed from across, you know, downhill and climbing up the mountaintop and etc. So EFC, they were losing players, but they still played it correctly. And you can see with this point, the amount of kills they got. Yeah, they got a little circle bless on that mountaintop, but they were going to farm the kills no matter what.
Now, LeveLx were in 15th. I still don't think they are going to do enough to get the points required. They've helped themselves with 13 in this game, but I just don't think it's enough. Whereas Warning 6 were in 10th on 81 points. They scored 14 points in this game. Okay, SegmentX behind them, they got 11 points, 10 kills. Solid result from SegmentX. But when you look at Dior, where were Dior? 2 points. Panthers, 4 points. We support farmers, 2 points. That was such a good game from Warning 6.
Yeah, Warning 6, they might have not gotten the chicken dinner, but as far as how impactful the points are, Warning 6 got the most impactful points that game. EFC, I mean, come on. They're already in first place. Those points are just literally to showboat and gloat about. But the points that really mattered for Warning 6, they are making it happen. They're breaking it in. They got 2 more games left. They're kind of sitting in like a comfortable position now, so to say. Definitely more comfortable than they were coming into today. And I want to see the points tallied up. I want to go to the leaderboards and we could talk about it. We could talk about it then. So yeah, let's go into it.
I'm gonna make you sweat. I'm also gonna make the viewers sweat. We're gonna go for a break, and you're gonna have to wait until we come back because I'm just that evil. So join us in a matter of minutes for game 3 in the final day of the PMCO North America Spring Split.
OnePlus 8 teeth. This has the 120 hertz, so it is wicked smooth.
15 minutes will get you charged up for a whole day.
And this has a quad camera too. Got a 48, a 16, a 5, and a 2 megapixel. OnePlus 8 teeth. This has the 120 hertz, so it is wicked smooth.
15 minutes will get you charged up for a whole day.
And this has a quad camera too. We got a 48, a 16, a 5, and a 2 megapixel.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back in the final day of the PMCO North America Spring Split Finals. 9 spots are up for grabs in the PMPL North America. Who are going to be the teams to claim it? I'm Imperium with the wonderful Zute. Let's just get into the leaderboard, right, Zute? Let's get into it. I tease you enough. Break it down for me.
Looking at the leaderboards, Warning 6, they are now in 9th place. They are officially now in the qualifying spot. They just need to keep that momentum that they have going for them, and they can actually make it. But talking about Warning 6, one team that, Warning 6 kind of took the spotlight from is M19. M19 came in today in 14th place. So they're keeping themselves within shooting range of making the top 9 too with their 2 performances. Not as big as Warning 6, but they're doing great nonetheless. So M19, maybe there's room for 2 Rocky Balboas. But if there is room for 2, that is just, bad for the other teams that are slowly starting to drop down, like Dior. Dior now dropping into the 10th place position. And the Panthers, they didn't drop out of 8th place, but points-wise, they're getting closer and closer of getting kicked out.
I think we can confidently say that the top 4 have made it through. Enigma Fan Club, Helping Quit Addiction, Mezexis, and TeamJCR. I feel like we can confidently say they have gotten their spots, but 5th place down, Syndicate 117, PassionFruit 112. I haven't mentioned this yet, but I think and I feel that 115 points is going to be the cutoff spot for these teams to get into the top 9. That is my prediction. So when we look at that, even though Syndicate are 117, I still don't consider their spot absolutely secured. I know there's only 2 games to go, but I'm telling you, man, it's anything's possible.
Yeah, Syndicate, they might get bumped down a little bit if they don't do good in the next 2 games, but that also means there would need to be a perfect 4 other teams to pass them up just in the correct manner and point distribution to actually kick them out of the top 9. So Syndicate, I think they're okay along with PassionFruit. But then again, if I say PassionFruit's okay, I got to say SegmentX is okay. Right?
Exactly.
So I think one of these teams is not okay, but the other 2 are going to be okay. So that technically means none of them are okay, because any of them could be the team that gets kicked out. So you're absolutely right, Imperium. I am just thinking as I'm speaking, and I'm going to throw it back to you.
I respect you. I respect your attempt. I do. It's just, where does the line stop, right? That's the thing. Where does the line stop? And of course, it doesn't really matter because we have no say in how these teams perform, right? It's all in their control. But when you're looking at speculation, it's so hard to kind of look at where does the line stop. In regards to PassionFruit, oh man, you were my team to get first, man. I picked you guys, and you've already ruined my reputation by not finishing in first. You don't want to make it even worse by dropping out of the spot. I don't want to be, known as the curse man of PMCO North America. Maxman already holds that title across the world. I don't want to take over that spot. But I know what you can do. It's so close. Like, we support farmers of failed to really light things up across the first 2 games. Pro Era, I would say that they were definitely unlucky in that Sanhok game. However, if LeveLx were able to secure a 3rd place, why weren't Pro Era, if that makes sense? So, you know, it worries me about Pro Era.
A really good point. Pro Era could have easily been the LeveLx of that game. LeveLx was actually 2-2 split. I didn't touch on it during the broadcast, but 2 of them were on the compound at the hill to the left of Camp Alpha, and 2 already went to like dead center circle where with that little watchtower underneath where the EFC mountaintop was. And Pro Era just kept sitting and waiting. And there was an opportune chance for them to take a fight because the Pro Era is good at fighting. The gun skill on that squad is above average, but I think their decision making right now is really keeping them short and like keeping them out of that top 9. But still, they're within shooting range, just like M19, just like Teammates, and we support Farmers. And with 2 games left to go, they need to kind of do a 180 in terms of confidence. I think that's what they're lacking. They're lacking the confidence and conviction in the plays they make. 2 games left, make it or break it.
They're lacking the fight, and fight is what you need in the final day of the PMCO North America Spring Split Final. So without further ado, brought to you by the wonderful folks over at OnePlus and the OnePlus AT, let's get into the final Miramar game of the day, of the tournament, of the event, and let's see who's going to come out on top. We do see a very central diagonal playing path that is so good for all of these teams.
Yeah, and Pro Era actually jumping right off the bat to Camp Militar. We were just talking about Pro Era. This, to me, does not seem like an adjustment in the sense of a good adjustment strategy wise. I don't know. This kind of just looks to me that they're just losing confidence. I can't recall where they usually drop, but they should be able to go to where they usually drop with this plane path, and they're switching it up completely because they know the Northeast is very clear every single Miramar game. It might be a sign of, you know, their confidence starting to shake and they just want to, you know, go for the safest place to loot now. And there's a small chance this might actually be a really good adjustment. Of course, I'm not on the team. I don't know what their strategy talk is. We'll just have to see the rest of the game play out to see how they do. And this is either really good or really bad for them.
Yeah, like on one hand, if they were in a different position, I would call it a sensible drop spot. But based on how they've been performing, I'm going to be straight up, and they are more than welcome to prove me wrong. But in my eyes, they are scared. They are scared. Yeah. And that worries me even more because, you know, you can't come into this being scared. You can be cautious, you can be aware, but you can't come into this being scared. Phase 1, though, Zute is down the southwest. It kind of complements the playing path above everything, but it is, of course, going to make it a little bit harder for the likes of LeveLx, Pro Era, and Teammates.
Yeah, one of the Warning 6 players actually dropping right down next to Brain from Syndicate. I think that's a 1v1 that is inevitably going to happen right now. There should be no real disengagement. And, oh, the Uzi! Warning 6, once again, just like game number 1, down to 3 players right in the beginning of the match.
But I thought Warning 6 were going to go to La Cabriera, because that's where they normally drop. It might have taken them a little bit longer. They might have had to stop short and grab a couple of vehicles, but, you know, why shift from your normal drop spot? Maybe they thought Punjab United were going to go there as well and challenge the fight because Punjab aren't in a position to really move anywhere in terms of qualifying. If that's the case, I can understand, but on this kind of playing path, split dropping when you're so close to the top 8 or in the top 8 is, that's quite scary.
Yeah, you mentioned Punjab. Even if that's what they were thinking, the even bigger mistake is they should know Syndicate does that split. Syndicate has dropped there literally every Miramar game, and you can watch it back. That specific compound, a Syndicate member drops there every time. Now, if you're going to come back and tell me he was planning on doing the 1v1, that's a little risky. I would advise against that. But if that was your plan, okay,
can
I
respect
guess,
that.
but I don't even think that was the plan. So that is just straight up bad. That is just straight up bad. Unless something happened, maybe his phone, had a glitch, then sorry to like lay it on you guys, but this is not looking good for Warning 6.
I will give them a tiny bit of respite because JCR have also gone for a little bit of a similar drop spot around this area. And to note, JCR don't normally drop around there either. They normally drop around, as far as I remember, Porto Preso region, or actually south of Los Leones. Actually, so I would say for Warning 6, there's a little bit of, hey, I get it, but they haven't been engaged upon by JCR, so, that's a little bit out of the question. Punjab have gone to Monte Nuevo, so that's a pretty good spot for them to kind of rotate into more centralized position. M19, I don't know if M19 went to El Pozo, but either way, M19 will have to be aware that there is, of course, a team more on the coastal side of this Phase 1 circle ahead of them.
Yeah, the spread of these teams with zone is decent. Everybody should be able to find their rotations in. What's really nice about the circle, even though it's so heavy on the southwest, is that the road and pathways leading in are not too bad. So it shouldn't be too much of a struggle. Should not be too much of a struggle. Other than the teams on the northeast, like I believe we mentioned it, Pro Era, they're on the hard northeast. I don't think they're too happy with that circle. I want to see them employ the strategy I was talking about the other day. Instead of looping all the way around either to the west or east,
direct.
maybe try that direct straight shot method. The only thing they need to watch out for is do proper scouting with that direct straight shot method.
Yes.
I'm not saying it's a free pass going down the middle, but you're going to have more time to rotate, more time to scout because you are going direct versus looping around. When you're looping around, you're going to just run into enemy teams doing the same thing, and you're going to be shorter on rotation time. And the edges of the map are always more difficult to navigate. And they're actually going to go for a loop around the west side. This could or could not work out for them. We will only know in due time.
Even though they're not doing what you suggested, to even complement what you said as well, they were pretty much the first team to start looting. And even though Campo Militar is obviously a little bit kind of big as an area of actually getting loot, in terms of rotation timing, they would have been able to be one of the first teams to actually rotate from this position. But as it happens, they're going for a wide rotation. Credit where it's due. They're sticking to what they want, and I can definitely respect that. They've avoided LeveLx. They've very heavily respected LeveLx as well by going super close to the wall. So they're not taking any chance at all. If they had rotated close to LeveLx, I would have been like, okay, that's a city. But they're fully aware of what's at risk with this kind of rotation.
And the Warning 6 player that has been here since the start of the game, JCR slowly pushing in as a 3-man team. Warning 6, he's in a 1v3. He's got to just clutch up huge here if Warning 6 wants to do well.
I think the best he can hope for is just to get a kill, to be perfectly honest. He's doing a great job. He has knocked, I think it's, I forget who it is exactly. Look, he did not knock Look down to a little bit of health, but that revive did get pulled off by Murder onto his teammate. But even SegmentX are coming in this direction as well, so they could third party and give a little bit of space. But Sleepless from PassionFruit with the M24 knock, oh, that's a spicy meatball.
Spicy meatball from all the way up on the church. And EFC continuing their absolute carnage of a tear. Just already 2 kills onto the side of Punjab. This fight, there's 2 up from Punjab, but I'm willing to bet $100 that EFC will take this one out cleanly. And Warning 6 and JCR, 2 of Warning 6 just got knocked in the kill. It happened so fast. Maybe one of the Warning 6 players decided to go help. PassionFruit in the mix too, and SegmentX, they're also in that fight over there just as well. So like a 4-way fight happening on the other side of the map.
Tough indeed. EFC just doing the EFC things above everything. by aggressing on the Punjab United. It's pretty straightforward. You know, nothing to see here, just standard stuff, you know, going about their day. Now, Punjab, they do still have 2 players up. They could do something. Shots are fired on through. Lovely spray by Oscar to knock down Coops. It's only 1 knockdown, so it's yet to really put too much pain, but with a lovely Molotov to suppress ESC, that's good stuff from Punjab.
Yeah, they need a... I know it's really difficult for them to push off that knock. It's even, like, near impossible, given the positioning.
Oh, no.
But they need to... Yeah, they need to try and do something off of the knock. I don't even care if it's just running in the open and taking up, you know, a hard ego challenge. Because if they don't, this is what happens. EFC resets, and they push you down 4v1. Yeah. And that is Punjab, the first team out. EFC already picking up 4 kill points.
Like, Oscar literally walked into those bullets from Spring. Like, Spring wasn't moving. He just shot, and, like, you saw Oscar, like, move like a carnival. You know, like one of those carnival games where, you know, the things move from left to right and you have to try and knock them out. That's what it was like. Oscar just, like, moved from the wall to the window and got knocked down. A little bit of it feels bad, man, but that's the way the timing can be. SegmentX have lost LeveLx, but they do still have 3 players strong. And Phase 2 did pop out. I apologize, I missed that, Zute, but it did seem to center up quite nicely.
Yeah, it did center up quite nicely. It shifted a little bit to the east, but this area... what's good about this shift is that it shifted off one of the big mountains on the west side of the map. So now there's only like one big mountain in play, so teams don't have to worry about that tricky situation where it's like driving up over the mountain or having to go down the mountain, which is always a headache on Miramar. So it's a good shift for everybody. Pro Era, they're actually a little bit separated. Seagut was on the far west by himself, and the rest of Pro Era had to cut in early, and Joey and Kissix and the kill feed, that is 2 players dead from Pro Era. So that wrapping rotation I was talking about, it is not working out. But JCR and SegmentX, they're going all out right now. A straight on fight, 4v3.
JCR, they just don't mind because they're already inside the PMPL, whereas SegmentX, they need to try and keep this game alive. Lolo is, I think, on 1 health. Prophecy goes down. Lolo's left with no time to heal up, and JCR are going to fire on through in amongst the smokes. That's the end of SegmentX. Their Miramar game is over, and potentially their journey onto the PMPL could be over off the back of that.
If they get hunted down one more time in the very last game and the perfect amount of teams pass them up, yes, it can happen. That's why I was saying on Sanhok, I wanted to see Mezexis hunt them down. Because imagine if they didn't have a good game on Sanhok. All of a sudden, SegmentX is potentially out of the top 9. But that is not the case. They still have 1 fighting chance towards the end. 1 fighting chance that is slowly dying ever so surely is that of Pro Era. They're down to a 2-man. And EFC is just on the hunt and on the tear. But I don't think EFC is going to be able to hunt this one down as they are in a city. And Seagut has already dipped all the way out.
Yeah, of course, he's better off just, you know, getting out of there and hoping for the best. As a 2-man team, Pro Era might be able to do something. EFC will have absolutely no qualms about looking to try and hunt some players down. The next phase is about to pop up. You can see most of the teams are pretty centralized in towards the circle area. TeamJCR is dead center of this phase 2. M19 are down on the southwest of it. You have the side of We Support Farmers down on the southeast. And then Dior are outside of TeamJCR, just south of Ledgerera.
Oh, that's
phase
circle
3.
Okay. I just want to keep talking about it to boost my own ego now at this point. I'm going to openly admit it. Imagine if Pro Era came from the northeast straight in towards the direction of Picado. Like, look at it.
You're dead right.
Completely open. Everybody's rapping. Look at the east. Look at the west. Completely filled because everybody raps.
You're dead right.
And I'm just so good as a analyst. I'm just so good.
Jesus Christ, I love it. I love it. Wow.
But yeah, this circle shift would have been perfect for that. They would have been chilling. They would have gotten center. But the team taking advantage of center now, I believe I see Mezexis, HQA. HQA caught on a fight with Syndicate. I didn't even notice since I was so focused on the circle shifts. But HQA, one of the teams perfectly comfortable. Syndicate, comfortable enough, and C got fall damage. Now they're just down to one player, that of Joey, I think, from Pro Era.
I think that sums up Pro Era's journey in the PMCO Finals. Simple as that. But Issue finds a knockdown onto Chi Wong. Now, Aeson, he's on his own by that wall size, so he does have to be very, very careful. The rest of the team needs to try and join up. He's pulling on those footsteps, opens the door, goes for those pre-fire shots, has to reload, but Issue's going to be put down to just 15 health. Actually, Aeson, should I say. But luckily, Brain is going to join up, so it is going to be 2 men strong in towards this area. Make it 3 men strong as Brain inside his smoke gets a knockdown once again onto Chi Wong. He's going to play around. Molotov being thrown out towards the smokes as Yuanzi is going to play inside the right dead center. Maybe go for a little bit of an unexpected play. Yuanzi goes down. HQA under pressure. It's just Louis left standing, and Syndicate are looking to single-handedly secure their spot in the PMPL Finals off the back of the squad wipe of HQA, and that is it. And they even keep themselves up as a full squad.
One fight that is going on that we haven't really touched on is second place. HQA and Mezexis is really close to each other. HQA at 153, Mezexis at 144. I think it's safe to say no one is taking first place from EFC. So this actually opens it up for a second place finish out of Mezexis, and that should be the next target that they're looking for. And I do believe they were in a dead center of the last circle. They are exactly dead center, looking really great right now for Mezexis.
So are JCR as well. They're looking so good. The Panthers, on the other hand, on the north western side of the circle, as EFC picks up another kill onto LeveLx. Luckily, the Panthers are helping, or getting help, should I say, by EFC against LeveLx somewhat. But LeveLx are down to just, I think, 2-3 players. But the Panthers have yet to move, and the Panthers could easily be the next victims of EFC's fight inside this Miramar game. Already 7 kills for EFC.
EFC not stopping their push anytime soon. We have a hard shift to the southeast, and Dior, that hard shift is absolutely amazing for them. They're in 10th place at 91 points, so that hard shift really blessed up Dior. All the other teams do have to migrate their way in, and teams like the Panther caught on the hard shift side is not going to have an easy time, especially with EFC rotating alongside them.
Yeah. For a sec, I thought you were about to say microwave, and I was like, okay, that's an interesting descriptive word to use. As EFC microwave their opponents, spraying the radiation plays down, and Syndicate are caught off guard. I think that's a 2 of their players taken out. It leaves them with just 2 left standing. So EFC, 9 kills. They picked up 2 of the Syndicate players.
Absolutely ridiculous what EFC is doing. They're playing this like a classic match. They're just driving wherever they want and picking up kills left and right. And the Panther, no, they lose 2 of their players. The Panthers, 8th place, okay? On the cusp of being kicked out. And now they're just down to 1 player. It is not looking good. There's only 1 game left after this, Imperium. There's only 1 game left after this one.
Oh, man. Slipping down, slipping and sliding. The teams hovering towards the top 9 are just falling apart right now. We have 13 teams left, 41 players left alive. Teammates getting engaged upon by JCR, but the clapback is flying on through inside the kill feed. You can see Ace to get a counter knock, but Killer gets dropped to the floor. Peaceful onto Fi. Hopefully we'll be able to pan over to that fight quickly enough, as M19 are going to join in on this fight with Pro Era and EFC. Luckily M19 seem to be helping Fishy, the last player standing from Pro Era. Coops is knocked down, but he's getting revived up. Enigma down by that minivan is now going to push in on towards this roadside. They might look to just ignore M19 and push into the circle. Very important for M19. They're down to just 2 players and they're on 1 kill outside the circle, but they're going to look for 2 of EFC, but they're going to be able to get away in the boogie.
Yeah, EFC doing that disengagement because they realize even if they win that fight, they're not in a good position inside circle. So that's why they are actually deciding not to fight. Trying to make that wrap up the mountaintop is difficult. to say the least, and they might be able to get up there. One of their players did get up there. Now they have a great position. Still not in circle, though. They still got to keep it going.
Yep. Now, 3 of their players are knocked down. It's just Spring left on his own. We Support Farmers are benefiting this one, but as Spring springs his way through the buggy, it's going to be warning 6 to finish off the side of EFC, but EFC, they just don't mind. They don't really care. They've already got the top spot as We Support Farmers are on 3 kills down on the southwest side of this phase, but where will the next one go?
Yeah, and Pro Era was taken out by M19. M19 ended up pushing that shack on the edge of zone, and that is Pro Era out. The zone, PassionFruit. Okay, there's 6th place coming in, so this is good. This is pretty much going to punch them their ticket for the finals. Sure, there's one more game, but with this circle, they should absolutely nab some points in at the very least.
Oh my God.
We Support Farmers.
Wait.
That's it. Okay, zone? Yes, what?
Yeah.
What am I missing?
No, I just noticed Warning 6 got a knockdown onto Dior. They're 9th and 10th on the leaderboard.
Oh, yes.
Look, yeah.
Go ahead. Tell me about this.
Well,
what is this, dude?
There's nothing to show. I just wanted to say it.
Oh, okay.
It's so important.
Yeah, so Dior on the very south side. Warning 6 right in their pathway. It looks like Dior's down to a solo. Warning 6, they already see the next zone in front of them, so they're going to sit and gatekeep that player, pick up that kill point. And Dior. Oh, that's not good. That's not good for Dior.
Oh, my God.
Whew.
Mezexis are going to push in across the road, but there's 2 players of Syndicate waiting in the wings. Unfortunately for Syndicate, Mezexis are still up as a full squad, and they've got 3 of their boys across the road in those vehicles. One is still on the other side. The blue zone is closing in on this phase 5, so will soon hit these teams. But now Alucard joins it up to make it a 2v4 against Syndicate. Nice Molotov to try and separate right away. But he is using the RV to get information, and even I think that is another player looking to third party. He did chuck out a grenade, but now he's going to get in the vehicle and back away. It is the Panthers' last player.
Yeah, the last player of the Panthers, so he's just trying to find his way in. He wants to avoid the fight, but it looks like he's going to end up driving right next to a different team. Now it's Mezexis and Syndicate. 4v2. Rad gets 1. Cannot confirm the thirst. Chico goes for the drop shot. Chico gets that trade, and it's now down to Ason.
Ason should have looked to really provide a little bit more support to Rad. Unfortunately, he couldn't really pull it off. Bishop confirms a kill onto Russell. Hey, look, might as well deny the kill away from your opponent. We'll just take our own team made out. Why not?
Now PassionFruit into the loving arms of PassionFruit. Look at that split. 2-2. They know they got a good position with that ship. Yeah. They're going to take advantage of it and farm the kills that they can.
Yeah, and that's actually good for Syndicate, because that might make PassionFruit realize, wait, we've just taken out the team there. We're fine. We don't need to look ahead. So that could allow Syndicate to maybe just about get in outside the blue and on the edge of the circle. Oh my God, what kind of hard shift is this?
It's a hard shift for We Support Farmers. That's what that is. We Support Farmers 11th place, 83 points. This one's also really good for Warning 6. These 2 teams are the teams near the middle that really need every point they could get, and these 2 teams just got a really nice circle shift. Warning 6, though, they kind of need to defend that spot because JCR should look to push. Shouldn't be too much of an issue, though, as JCR is pushing LeveLx and focusing elsewhere on the map.
Lovely murder. Going into FPP mode, getting the pre-fire shots with the AKM. That was juicy. JCR are on 11 kills. They're on another level. Looking so good. And maybe even overtake Mezexis in 2nd place. We could see it happen, but either way, We Support Farmers. You mentioned they are the only team across the road on the southeastern side of this phase 6, so they can stop multiple teams from going down the hill. But if you can go down the hill, you can get in on towards the edge of that roadside, but with multiple teams around you, it's not going to be easy. We're into our final 4 teams. Warning 6, PassionFruit, JCR, and We Support Farmers.
Yeah, the final 4 teams, and we support farmers. They're not in the zone. They need to make their way in. And with the sightlines of PassionFruit and JCR in front of them, I'm imagining we support, or Warning 6 is going to be the next team out.
I like that from We Support Farmers. They actually sent 2 players across the road preemptively. They know they needed to be controlling, that they couldn't presume that the circle was going to stay on their side of the road. They even send a third player over as JCR are taken out. So it's just We Support Farmers, PassionFruit, and Warning 6. All 3 of these teams need the points. They need the chicken dinner. They need that PMPL slot.
Positional wise, it can either go to PassionFruit or We Support Farmers. It depends on the next shift. Warning 6 is just trying to make their way in and find somewhere in the zone, but the pain is going to look to put a stop. Ooh, amazing pre-fire right out that corner and almost taking down the pain.
That is a beautiful reaction by Peralta. He was lucky that he was at the point where the boogie was allowing him to just, you know, get those pre-fire shots off. But then Sleepless from behind gets a knockdown on the pain. Now, Peralta is definitely be aware of that. He's just happy that he secured a position in the circle for his team.
Oh, I love this move out of PassionFruit, but Peralta on an absolutely big tear. His reactions are on point. PassionFruit, though, has taken the high ground on all the teams.
Oh, cue the rocky music as Warning 6 are once again into the top 3. The circle shifts heavily up northwest away from all of these teams, so it's going to be an absolutely cluster truck coming in to try and find their position in circle. Luckily, PassionFruit have that kind of northeastern edge where they're going to be able to hopefully creep into the circle, but they know what Warning 6 can do.
Yeah, but look at Sleep. Oh, no, I spoke too soon. Sleepless actually had an amazing angle on the other side, and they had everyone pinched, but Sleepless goes down. This is an opening for Warning 6, and We Support Farmers to maybe take this fight or take this chicken dinner away from PassionFruit.
Why isn't Fraser pushing up to confirm that kill on the Sleepless though? Shorty, he's being given that information. You gotta be able to react to that. Fraser, you're not in the circle. 2 of your other players are inside a shack, not in the circle, pinched by numerous teams. You're allowing that revive to get pulled off onto Sleepless. That is unbelievable. Shorty, you've heard that vehicle. Okay, now he's gonna strike, but is it gonna be too late? It is too late because Fraser gets knocked down. Versa onto Warning 6. That's gonna leave them with just 1 inactive on his own in the blue zone.
Yeah, PassionFruit looking so strong with their positioning. Warning 6, he's just going to try and first aid out the other 2 remaining players of We Support Farmers. The only way he's going to be able to get second place over We Support Farmers is if PassionFruit does him a favor and pushes the shack right now. But it is not the case. We Support Farmers pick up the kill, and they secure a second place. PassionFruit should close this one out. No problems.
Now I feel guilty for even questioning PassionFruit coming into this Miramar game. I feel bad for even questioning my loyalty as PassionFruit come out to get a passionate win in Miramar with a juicy amount of kills.
I think PassionFruit heard what you were saying, and they answered right back. We are not letting you down, Imperium, and there is no way we're dropping out of the top 9 if they were your pick. So, PassionFruit, great win. I love the control out of them. We saw them do that 2-2 earlier on, farm the kills. We saw them take that high ground, even though it wasn't in necessarily the next circle, get more positioning. We saw one player of PassionFruit take the off angle. The only issue was the execution, right? We saw the off-angle player did get knocked down. Luckily, he didn't get pushed. So, PassionFruit, they have the skills when it comes to playing in the PMPL. I'm going to say this: they punched their ticket in with that game, but they need to work on their execution.
Do you think We Support Farmers through that game? Fraser should have pushed that knock. Absolutely should have pushed that knock. If he had pushed that knock, it would have been a confirmed kill. It would have stopped PassionFruit from getting an extra angle of a bubble, and it would have kept We Support Farmers with at least 1 player up. You know, that could be the reason why We Support Farmers don't qualify for the PMPL.
I mean, they had a really good game, and yeah, at that point, the only option is for him to push a knock, but it wasn't as easy as you might have imagined. There was still 3 players on the high ground, and they had angles onto him if he made for a run for it. The best play, if he had smokes, that is smoke his cross, and yes, push. If he didn't have smokes, go for the Hail Mary play and go for that push, but there's a good chance he gets knocked, and then they also have warning 6 they're worried about, right? I think they're just trying to secure.
Up getting knocked.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
It just felt like it was a delayed response, and that's it frustrates me because at this level, right? I just don't.
Yeah.
Oh man, it makes it so much harder to get away with those delayed plays, right?
Yeah, it was delayed, but the one thing they were worried about was warning 6. Their team might have just thought PassionFruit's going to win. We're not going to overtake them in this, circumstance with their positioning. We're just all going to try and stay alive and make sure warning 6 dies before we do. And so he didn't make a run for it. He tried to hold his spot and then realized later on, I might as well go and try. You're right. The right play was to push, but it was not an easy decision. So I'm not going to really, pin that on him too hard. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, definitely. I definitely see your perspective. Maybe I'm just being the kind of, tough love, tough father. Hey, I said it to PassionFruit at the end of the previous game, and what did they do?
You did.
They came up with the chicken dinner. So, consider that a warning. We support farmers. Come back stronger last game. But either way, me and Zute, we're going to come back from the last game. Once we have a break, don't go away. We'll see you guys in a bit.
OnePlus 8 teeth. This has the 120 hertz, so it is wicked smooth.
15 minutes will get you charged up for a whole day.
And this has a quad camera too. We got a 48, a 16, a 5, and a 2 megapixel. OnePlus 8T. This has the 120 hertz, so it is wicked smooth.
15 minutes will get you charged up for a whole day.
And this has a quad camera too. We got a 48, a 16, a 5, and a 2 megapixel.
This is it, the date of destiny, the final game of the PMCO 2021 Spring Split North America region. This is where we find out what 9 teams have qualified for the upcoming PMPL North America. Without further ado, let's throw it to the leaderboard, Zute, so we can break down what these teams have to do, what teams are looking so good, but what teams are not looking so good.
Okay, let's just look straight onto the 9th place position, right? 104. That's currently the 9th place spot. Right below them, the Panthers and Dior have a really good chance of taking out potentially one of the teams in 7th, 8th, or 9th. One of these teams might get bumped out. Syndicate in 6th place, you said it earlier, I think they're safe. So everything below Syndicate, not 100% yet. Dior and Panthers, they're looking good. They need a good game and they can break into the top 9. But M19, Pro Era, and Team Ace, they need a chicken dinner. And not just a chicken dinner, they need a chicken dinner and a healthy amount of kills if they want to qualify. So I'm going to say, based on the team's performances that I've seen so far throughout the tournament, M19 Pro Era and Team Ace, they don't have it in them to get that chicken dinner with a healthy amount of kills to make it into the top 9. So it's really the Panthers and Dior that I'm looking at to see who's going to break in.
I'm going to challenge you on M19.
Okay.
I'm going to challenge you on M19 because up until today, and I'm going to use your own argument against you. Up until today, yeah, they got 38 points in day 1. They got 15 points in day 2. Got 4 points in day 3. Was not looking good for them. But in game 1 today, they got 13 points. In game 2, they got 12 points. That's 25. In game 3, they still got 3 points. That's 28 points in 3 games, right?
Okay.
Yes, it's not insane, but when you're talking about the upward spiral, the final day, I will challenge you on M19 being able to pull it off.
But a chicken dinner with a healthy amount of kills? You're asking for more than a win out of M19. You're asking for a win and a fashionable win. That is what you're... Okay. Well, I mean, there's always a chance. There's always a chance, I guess, but I would not. I would not agree with you. Let me say what I do think, though. Okay,
go for it.
I feel like We Support Farmers is going to get knocked out of the top 9. Warning 6, they have been on a great day, so they're going to keep that consistency and just ink themselves into the top 9. SegmentX, unless if we saw teams really targeting them, I think SegmentX is going to kind of cruise their way in, with biting their nails just a little bit into the top 9. But We Support Farmers. It's just there's just a thing when you're on the 9th place cusp. When you're on the cusp of qualifying for any major event, it just seems like in all of esports, that team ends up getting kicked out by the hungrier team that's right below them. So that's why I feel like We Support Farmers is going to drop out, and either the Panthers or Dior is going to go up. That's just a gut feeling that I have.
But where the Panthers been today? Because if you want to also mention a team that have had a downward downward trend, a downward spiral. The Panthers got 46 points in day 1, but day 2 they got 14, day 3 they got 27, and even in today's games, let's be fair, they started today's games in 8th place, and they've dropped down to 10th. To me, they haven't shown that they're able to pull up, or at least M19 have showed me more. And I love the Panthers. Don't get me wrong, but when you're looking at today's performance, I don't see it from the Panthers.
Oh, that's absolutely true. But you know what else is true? We're going into the last game, and anything can always happen on the last game on the last day.
Yes.
So you're absolutely right about M19, but I'm absolutely right about the Panthers too. They could take it away.
Oh, that's what I love. That's what I love. We're both going to end up being right. That's the thing in some way, or one of us is going to end up being right. And this playing path looks to be not so right. Actually, yeah, not so right. It's okay going from the east.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay. It's not horrible. With how many Erangel games we have played, everybody with this playing path, should have no problems. Besides, okay, last game of the day, last game of the finals, we can see some teams decide to, have a little bit of fun, add a little bit of spice. So we might see something crazy where a fight breaks out immediately, or it might not happen at all. It's either way. We see EFC, the team that's the most crazy right now, actually going for their drop in Severny. How absolutely boring from them coming into the last game.
Come on. We know what they're going to do with that Severny drop spot, right? They're going to loot up quick. They're going to rotate, and then they're going to start hunting. One team that I'm looking out for, to expand on what you said in Sanhok, if phase 1 pops up, Mezexis, will they look to hunt down SegmentX?
Nah, they're actually just sharing Yaz with their good old pals Punjab, like they have been. SegmentX, they managed to find their vehicles. They're going to go over to the George Pole area to loot. Syndicate have found their vehicles. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything exciting is going to happen at the start of the final game, but 20 minutes in, you can bet your butt we will be shouting left and right as these teams are fighting for their tournament lives.
Oh man, just to remind you, if you have just tuned in, these teams are fighting for the top 9 spots to move over to the big boy league, right? The PMPL North America. Currently, we have really the battle from 7th place down to 14th. SegmentX are in 7th on 111 points. 186 in 8th. We support Farmers in 9th. The Panthers in 10th. Dior in 11th. M19 in 12th. Pro Error in 13th. And Team Ace in 14th.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you a tough question, Imperium. I'm going to straight up ask you to pick favorites. Out of... Whoa. We support Farmers, the Panthers, Dior, M19, Pro Era, and Team Ace. If you could pick one team out of those to just be in the top 9, which one is it going to be?
No. That's like asking a parent who their favorite child is, Zute. That's like... Okay,
I said it was going to be a tough question.
You know what?
M19.
M19. I'm going to go for M19 because I kind of low-key backed them. I'm going to go for M19. Why not?
Yeah, and M19 playing way different than we've ever seen them. I don't think we've seen M19 go for a fast kill in any game ever. So, they obviously have the idea that we need to do something big on this last game, and they're starting it off good with a kill. Maybe they're taking some notes from EFC. And I'll do you a favor. I'll answer that question myself since I
go for it. You tell me.
Answer. M19.
Oh well, no. You can't pick the same team.
I can't do that.
No, you cannot, sir.
Oh man, I thought I was gonna have it easy. Okay, all right, fair enough, fair enough. Out of We Support Farmers, the Panthers, Dior, M19, and Pro Era and Team Ace, I would have to say Dior, because they just got a
Even
cool
though they
name,
just
man.
lost
Dior,
the player?
Dior.
Even
wait,
though they just lost
I
the
didn't
player.
I didn't even realize that. You're right. M19 got a kill onto Dior.
No
Oh,
takesy backsies, no takesy backsies. You've already
Oh.
picked it. You heard it. He already picked
Okay.
Dior. That's his final option. That's it. Hey, that's the rules, right? Don't hate the player,
Okay.
hate the games you take.
All right. Well, Dior is 3-man. Going back to group stage, we saw how amazing Dior was.
Fair.
So yeah, maybe. You never know.
To be fair, both Dior and M19 look quite strong in group stage, right? But that's the difference between group stage and finals, right? We talked about it. It's a much different ball game, and even the PMPL in itself is going to be so much different, so much harder. So these teams will really, really need to prepare for the PMPL battle. So getting through the finals is just obviously going to be one lovely step forward, but it's not going to be the end of the run, of course. So we'll have to wait and see who it's going to be. Looking at Punjab, they're getting sightlines on the PassionFruit. PassionFruit obviously rotating from the Stalbar region fairly quickly and using the north of the river to their advantage, and it's a nice rotation.
Yeah, PassionFruit currently 5th place with 137. One of the teams that have pretty much secured their spot. So they're chilling right now. They're playing the game. Just more so for practice sakes. And yes, this is a fast rotation. I might be jumping a little bit ahead of myself, but you mentioned PMPL and how it's a different ball game, right?
Yes.
I feel like the only team out of all of these teams that is actually PMPL ready would be EFC. I don't think any other team
not even
is like a top. I don't think any other team is a. I wouldn't comfortably say any other team is a top 5 PMPL team out of this lobby yet. Like, sure, it can definitely happen, but I don't think I can't comfortably say any of the other teams are PMPL ready as far as it comes to being a top 5 PMPL team.
Oh, but Pro Era? It's going to take down one of the PassionFruit players. Pro Era did drop in Roshawk this last and final game, so that has benefited him quite nicely. But of course, it's not over just yet. Lovely grenade being cooked up over the wall does take a little bit of health off of Seagull. It's going to tickle him a little bit. He's left with half. Oh, lovely push coming on through. But Seagull with the turn. The Uzi spray to take down Sleepless. You paid the price, my friend. PassionFruit are down to 2.
If that was any other gun in Seagut's hand, I don't think he could have got that 50 HP clutch off. Yeah, that Uzi came in clutch. So, Pro Era, they need that chicken dinner, right? And they need it with a healthy amount of kills. If they're going to start it off with 2 quick kills, it's possible for them to get that chicken dinner. And not to mention the zone. The zone, we didn't even talk about it, but the zone is very centralized around the Rozhok area.
That's fair.
If the zone ends up ending there, I mean, hell, they could do it.
M19, we support farmers. M19 are just basically going deep. They're going fast. They're going harsh. They're looking for it, but Revenge is under a little bit of pressure for Zorf, so they are going to look to avoid the side that we support farmers. And on the kill feed, you see once again Pro Era picking up another kill onto PassionFruit. And if I'm not mistaken, that is PassionFruit wiped out. I think that's PassionFruit wiped out.
Yeah, we're down to 15 teams, 59 alive. That is PassionFruit wiped out. Not that big of a problem for PassionFruit, but the more important thing is Pro Era. They have 4 kill points already. They still need that chicken dinner. And this zone, it's centered on Rozhok. If it ends up on Rozhok, Pro Era could very well potentially do it. Just maybe.
EFC doing exactly what they did previously. They're down on the southeast side. Remember they did it? And they called out We Support Farmers? Oh my lord. Oh my lord. I don't know if M19 We Support Farmers are going to know what is about to hit them, because EFC are driving right on by.
Ooh, Zorf. The second they see a car parked there or gunshots, Zorf is dead. EFC will stop and kill whoever is at that compound. So maybe Zorf makes it out. Maybe he lays low and they don't spot the car. Oh, no. But Ace how is Ace caught out in that position? It was just wide in the open. And yeah, Peaceful definitely stuck. I don't think he has his car next to him either. Syndicate might look to press this as Syndicate, another one of the teams that have punched their way through. They could play however aggressive they want right now.
I think Team Ace did get a kill onto Rad, to be fair, so Team Ace aren't in the worst position in terms of at least being able to disengage, but Grave gets knocked down. He tried to push in on towards Everest, but the side of the Panthers are already there. But Aeson is going to get another knockdown on the Peaceful, and Team Ace are down to just 2. Oh, but Killer! Oh, Killer! The overpeak. Of course, the rest of the Panthers are definitely further back, are now going to look to react and move, but that does allow Killer to get the revive on the Grave.
Yeah, I kind of low-key respect him trying to go for that thirst, right? If he didn't go for that thirst, there's a chance that that knock gets reset. And since he did get knocked, the rest of the Panthers were in a good position to recover and reset this fight. So I think that Pete was the correct play. Granted, he still got knocked. I think it was the correct play.
I just want to tell you, EFC got a knock onto Dior. Sorry about that, mate. And then we also saw M19 get a kill onto one of the LeveLx players. Just to let you know, so they not trying to, poke you or anything like that, but just letting you know.
Oh, domino effect. That knock is gonna ruin the Panthers' chance. The Panthers, they're dead. They're in 10th place. The Panthers are out of the running.
You could call it Jinx, as Jinx is the last player off. He choked some of the smoke. Now Syndicate might get caught out. They're going to look for Team A, so it might give Jinx a little bit of moment to play. He does get a knockdown on the issue, but in the end, Aeson is going to find Jinx. Jinx is not down, though. Jinx is not down. He's going to be able to pull off a first aid. Now, Killer could be striking on up. Jinx is going to play off. He's going to look for Brain. Aeson has no idea. He does find Brain, and now it's going to be a 1v1. Ace is going to fire on through. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. Panthers still have the fight. He's going to look to try and dance away, but Nomi of Team Ace wants to chase him, and he's going to look for them, but Jinx is going to try and heal up. He's going to hear the footsteps. The Thompson in the hands of Nomi. He's going to look for the pre-fire shots, but it's going to be Jinx to get Nomi, and Killer is left on his own. Jinx is fighting for Panthers. He's fighting for the PMPL slot.
Holy cow. Like, I'm sorry I said the Panthers are dead, but this was a 4v4 before, and it's now a 1v1v1. And the Panther Jinx was the first solo at the start of that fight. And absolute insane.
Oh my god. Talk about absolutely insane. M19 looked to push on towards We Support Farmers on the hills to the east of Potato Hill. And it worked against some Ralphino. When you mention 1v1v1, Ralphino, should I say, is now the last player standing for M19, so it went from hero to zero in a matter of seconds for M19. I don't think they can even claim the chicken dinner with this solo player.
No, they can't, but I think they were doing the right thing, right? They made the attempt. They knew they had an isolated 4v4, so they took it. Anytime you have an isolated 4v4 and you really need kill points on the last day, that is your best chance because you can control the engagement. And it does look like they were the aggressors. Didn't execute it quite properly. M19, I know you were rooting for them, but I think M19 is out, along with the Panthers, even though they're both still 2 solos. And didn't get to see Dior, but Dior is not looking too hot either. That only leaves Pro Era for that miracle chicken dinner qualification.
let's be fair. The Panthers are on 98 points and We Support Farmers are only on 104. To be fair to the Panthers, they were on a much better level than M19. So it's not over yet. I will still say there's a chance for the Panthers to make it on through. One team that don't need to worry about it is JCR. They're on the edge of Watertown. They're already in a comfortable position in 4th place. They could overtake Mezexis and move into 3rd on a side note. They're only 2 points behind Mezexis. It would be a great way for them to end the finals of the PMCO. So it does seem like they actually are going to look and hunt. Not hunt, it, but Mezexis are right by them.
Yeah, and right just now, Warning 6 took out the last player of M19. So Ralphino is
really
dead. M19, yeah, M19 is out of the lobby.
And alas, their PMCO journey ends. M19, a valiant effort you made, but you just left it too late to pull off the big scores, the big results, the big points needed. We are going to hit this next circle, and honestly, this is such a familiar circle. I've seen so many of these across the PMCO.
Yeah, one thing that isn't as familiar is the lack of players left in the lobby. It is looking a little bit emptier than usual, and that's completely normal given it's the last game. So teams are a little more aggressive because they can be. And so the big narrative right now, I was talking about Pro Era, right? They need that chicken dinner with a healthy amount of kills, but we also got to look at We Support Farmers. Every kill point and every placement point We Support Farmers get makes it ever so harder for Pro Era to break that gap. So Pro Era, they're watching the kill feed right now, and I think We Support Farmers just got another kill, making it even harder for Pro Era to get that miracle chicken dinner run.
They just took out Syndicate, if I'm not mistaken, so that's even better because it's kind of another team out of the lobby as well. Yeah, 12 teams left, 36 players. So I just mentioned that in terms of because you're one placement away from getting an extra placement point, so it's just something to consider as LeveLx are still in this game. They're unfortunately not in the running to get a PMPL slot, but they are looking to end on a high note here in the PMCO Finals.
And we just saw Dior, the last member of Dior, not looking good. Sure, he's still alive, but probably going to meet the same demise as Ralphino, the solo from M19, and We Support Farmers. He's surrounded. And there's also another solo snake right next to him. So the moment he takes a shot, he could get easily snaked in the back. The ace player, actually, and LeveLx. It's a 3-way fight over here, and it's a scrappy one.
Whoa. It's a 4-way fight because you got LeveLx, you got We Support Farmers, you got Team Ace, and you got Dior. The grenades are going to go flying. Right. That's a good run. Facilo, it's not going to secure a knockdown, but it does tickle the pain a little bit and push him down to half health. Oh my God.
Killer.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Free knock. Free kill. That's a killer. Push on.
He didn't get the thirst.
Not yet. He's going to look for more. He gets one. But it is going to be the pain that keeps the game alive for We Support Farmers. And unfortunately, that's going to be the end of them.
Oh, one of them do get thirsted though. So now We Support Farmers, the 9th place team with 4 kills, but only 2 left alive. And LeveLx, they're out of the running, so that might just mean they're going to go super aggressive and just go for these kills. And meanwhile, Dior is just snaking on the side, remaining as quiet as can be.
Yeah, I'm not here, guys. I'm not here. I'm actually a rune. I don't move. I'm just part of the structure. It's all good, guys. It's all good. What is unfortunate for We Support Farmers is that off the back of them surviving against Team Ace, they did end up losing a player because LeveLx chucked a grenade and that confirmed a kill. So it's just a pain, and Fraser left standing. I love Chonu's attempt of getting on top of that wall to try and get that elevation point on the Fraser.
Yeah, hardcore parkour. He climbed it the first attempt, but it seems like he's not able to do it again. I like the idea though. I have personally I never knew you could climb over that. And it looks like it's actually quite very possible. But we're going to go into the next shift, and it does go down to the south, and HQA, a heavy gunning team. They have amazing gun skill, and I know for a fact they know how to defend that position too. It's gonna be a field day for HQA and Pro Era. That zone has hard shifted away from them.
Wait, LeveLx? Are you not gonna push that? Warning 6 to Rhoda runs over one of the HQA players. He gets a knockdown. Now Yuanzi is gonna come in and confirm Warning 6. I think that's Warning 6 out of the lobby. I think that is, no, not quite. Okay, I spoke too soon. My apologies. Warning 6, you're still in the game, but it's not looking too good. You're down to 2. Your third man is knocked down, and ESC are coming in from behind. You are pinched in between 2 of the heaviest hitting teams in the PMCO Finals.
Yeah, and Pro Era popping off in the kill feed. I think getting 2 of EFC. No, one of them gets stolen. Pro Era still a 4-man team. It is possible, and they're at 5 kills right now. They are doing
go for it.
Kill wise. Oh, Coops with the double knock.
Oh,
Fishy's gonna go with that run over. Fishy might have driven a little bit too far though. Warning 6 might smell this out. There's only 2 of Pro Era left, but they're on the flank side. Their backs are clear. This is good for Pro Era. They can recover this, and if they do recover this, that's a lot of kills in front of them to be had.
Oh my lord, this final game! On a side note, one of the We Support Farmers players goes out. Confirmation by LeveLx, they didn't quite finish the seam in time. And actually the pain has been eliminated. So that's We Support Farmers are out of the game. They're in 9th, but I don't know if they've done enough to hold on to the spot because the Panthers, I believe the Panthers are still in play. Dior, I don't know if they're still in play. I think they got taken out. But either way, Pro Era, they certainly are still in play because they've gotten the knockdowns onto Warning 6. Not quite the squad wipe, but it is going to be a potential push to confirm it. And indeed, Warning 6 are out of this game. Their position in the top 9 is potentially compromised.
I have a gut feeling Pro Era is going to qualify because from that position, they literally control everything in front of
10
them.
kills.
So no matter where the
10
circle
kills.
shift goes, exactly 10 kills, and they control this. They might not even need a chicken dinner with their positioning and the amount of kills they already have. It's happening.
Let's be fair. They are surrounded by the strongest teams currently, or some of the strongest teams in the lobby. Right, Mezexis, JCR, HQA. You got SegmentX, although they've been rocky, they're still no doubt a strong team when it comes to fragging out when it needs to be done. But the thing for Pro Era, like you said, they have the angles, they have the position where they can come in and third party multiple teams. And JCR, Fire's gonna push on in amongst the smokes. SegmentX are under pressure. King A is knocked down. Prophecy is left on his own, prone down. And Fire with the barrel in his hands is gonna look to take out the side of SegmentX, and that's gonna be it. The grenades are flying. SegmentX are out of the lobby, but I think they've done enough in points to get into the top 9.
Pro Era with 11 kills right now. One of their players just got knocked. He should be recoverable. Yes, he will get recovered. Pro Era, if they can survive
JCR.
this one, yeah, they need to gatekeep JCR effectively. They don't have to necessarily push them, but they cannot allow JCR to push Pro Era, because if JCR gets that push off, Pro Era lose that hilltop and they lose the advantage. Great knockout of Seagut. Double knock. This is looking really good for Pro Era.
Yes, Seagull, 1, 2, Uni flew. Get that ball in the shoe, but no, Fire's gonna go down. That leaves the side of JCR with just one player up. He's gonna engage on it. Murders on his own, but Seagull single-handedly took down the whole of JCR. 14 kills, and they're in the top 4 of the game. LeveLx encroaches in. They're gonna take down HQA. We're left with our final 3 teams. Are Pro Era gonna come back from the depths of hell? They started this game, Zute, in 13th place.
I think they're gonna do it. So, like, I'm not gonna try and attempt math in my head live on stream as we're watching this game. So don't even ask me how many points they need to break in right now. Yes.
Just give me a yes or no.
They're gonna make it.
Okay.
Yes.
That's all I wanted.
Yes.
That's all I wanted. I just wanted a yes or a no, and you gave me it. Come on, Pro Era. Zute's behind you. I'm behind you. Mezexis, they're not in the running. They're already qualified. LeveLx, hey, credit where it's due. You are ending on a high note, ending on a bang. All credit to you, but at the end of the day, they're not in the running for the top 9. Now, Pro Era, they've been dealt a lot of damage across the edge of this circle. One of their players is knocked down, but they are trying to hold on to this position. But I fear that LeveLx have walked into a disaster move as Alucard knocks down Ultra. Just like that, yeah, okay, the play zone takes down Fishy, but Kisk is going to seal the kiss of death onto LeveLx, but he gets knocked down in return. That leaves Pro Era with just 2 players up. Mezexis can gatekeep them so hard. The best Pro Era can hope for is that Beast goes down off the back of having 1 health remaining, and they get 2nd place.
Pro Era, they're making their rotation. I was just gonna say maybe they could just try and survive, but they're going for it. They're wide in the open. It might be enough. A 3rd place finish with that amount of kills might be enough. And they do go out. Mezexis is going to take the chicken dinner, but the real question is, did Pro Era break the top 9?
Mezexis ending the PMCO Finals with a glorious chicken dinner coming out from the Watertown region in a frantic way to pick up the final kills and seal the deal. That will most likely put them ahead of HQA as well, and it will have stopped JCR from overtaking both themselves and HQA. LeveLx, they may not have put themselves in the running to qualify for the PMPL spot, but I bid a fantastic valiant due to you guys with 2nd place and 6 kills in the final game.
Leaderboards. That's all I'm going to say, Imperium. Leaderboards right now. That's all I want to see. Like Pro Era, did they make it?
I know.
Or not?
I know.
What do you think? Yes or no? Did they make it? Did they make it?
Yes, they made it. That's what I'm saying.
You think so?
I'm saying they made it. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. We're both behind Pro Era. Yeah. I know they struggled, but I'm with you. I'm with you.
All right. That is the big question. Oh,
man.
What? Until the last final game. Of course. On the final game, we're left hanging. And what? There is no other way to end it. We're left hanging, and we're just waiting. We're waiting.
SegmentX got 5 points. They'll bookmark their position inside the top 9. But this is it. We have the leaderboard ready. Bring it on over. Let us see who the top 9 teams that have qualified for the PMPL North America. There you go.
Oh my God. Oh. My heart dropped.
More point. 1 more kill. 1 more placement. 1 shining light would have done the job, or 2, should I say, would have done the job for Pro Era. But unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. We got behind them. They got behind themselves. I'm sure the chat had gotten behind them. But I'm sorry, Pro Era. You just gave yourself too deep of a task in the final game to get it. 10th place for themselves, but the top 9 on your screens: Enigma Fan Club, Mezexis, HQA, TeamJCR, PassionFruit, Syndicate, SegmentX, Warning 6, and We Support Farmers. Those are your North American representatives moving on over to the PMPL.
Huge congratulations for every one of the teams that have made it this far and competed out of their minds. Like every game, there was a chance for any team to fight their way up, especially looking at Pro Era. My heart literally dropped for them. That 1 point difference. Instantly, I am thinking that one knock that we saw they got onto EFC and then it got stolen, that was a make it or break it, right? And there was probably multiple points throughout that entirety of the last game, small make it or break it's all compiling up together, and they fall 1 point short. Oh, that is heartbreaking. But
it's heartbreaking, but that's what we thought would happen, right, Zute? We came into this PMCO, we came into the group stage going, it will come down to the final points, it will come down to that final game, it will come down to that minute detail. Every single action was going to have that domino effect. Every single play, every single rotation. And Pro Era, they didn't have to go through the group stage, but they knew what they were getting into when they made it into the finals. And in the end, it just wasn't enough. But again, we have to highlight Enigma Fan Club, Mezexis Esports, and HQA. Those are your top 3 teams in the PMCO North America finals. Those have been the 3 teams that very early on in the finals solidified themselves for the PMPL slots. They didn't stop trying to fight each other. They didn't stop battling. EFC always looking to pick off a couple of teams, picking off a couple of players, but they will be very integral to North America's success throughout the whole of 2021.
104 placement points, 102 kill points. That is a healthy balance of both. They are well versed in every aspect, and dropping down 84 for Mezexis placement points, 85 kill points from that's a good balance too. These teams are looking beautiful, strong. And we already went through the list, but I want to give my personal congratulations to the top 9. So EFC, Mezexis, HQA, TeamJCR, PassionFruit. Hey, your team made it in. They did not fail you. And here you go. And then we got Syndicate, SegmentX. SegmentX, I think this is going to be fuel for them. They realized they dropped the ball. Sure, they qualified, but by no means is this where they wanted to end up, right? They're going to come back strong. They're going to come back even tougher for PMPL. And we have Warning 6, the Miracle Run, the Rocky Balboa team. They made it
insane.
Through. They did it.
Insane.
And we support Farmers. They clutched it out, man. They clutched it out by 1 point. Congratulations to these 9 teams. Good luck for PMPL because you have just started. This was a tough challenge, but PMPL, it's going to be an even tougher one.
You are so right. You mentioned a couple of teams, but the one team out of the 9 that made it through without a chicken dinner, TeamJCR. They didn't let me down. Day 1, 32 points. Day 2, 30 points. Day 3, 35 points. They rocked it in day by day, baby. And then in the final game, they kicked things off with a magnificent run, and they solidified themselves in the PMPL. I am very, very happy to see them making it through.
Yeah, JCR. If your standout team is JCR, if I had to pick one, obviously I would have to give it over to Warning 6. Just to be able to bring it back from that no small accomplishment.
Man,
I want to see if they can carry that momentum.
Yeah, and honestly, we could stay here and talk for, in my opinion, hours and hours about what these teams are going to be facing in the PMPL. But alas, this is it. Those are your 9 teams making it through and are going to represent North America in the PMPL. Thank you so much to everybody tuning in throughout the PMCO Spring Split. Thank you so much to our wonderful sponsors, OnePlus and the OnePlus 8T. Thank you so much to yourself, Zute, all the back staff, the people in production, Supremacy, everybody on the ESL side. You are all amazing. I look forward to seeing you all in the future. Stay safe for the final time. Stay awesome. Look after yourselves. And we'll see you all another time.
OnePlus 8T. This has the 120 hertz, so it is wicked smooth.
15 minutes will get you charged up for a whole day.
And this has a quad camera too. We got a 48, a 16, a 5, and a 2 megapixel.